Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, January 28, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the program after a lovely, lovely Monday show. What a show that was with Alex Pereira and Pino Cruz in studio. Really enjoyed the chat, and what a gent that Alex Pereira is. You know, I gave him the doll, the Big Shot doll, and I thought he was going to take it home. McGregor took it home, and I was happy to see McGregor take it home. But Alex said, you know what? Keep it here. Let the people know who the man is. And so, as you can see, it's still here. Now, he did take the trophy. He was actually very, very honored and proud to take the trophy. And that made me very excited. And we're working on producing the other trophies to send them to all the winners. But enjoyed that chat very much. Nothing like a good in-studio chat with one of the biggest names, one of the most popular fighters in the sport. And so if you missed it, go check it out on the YouTube channel right now. Jeremy Stephens was fantastic. Holy crap, never seen that side of him. Emotional, fiery, just determined. It's like a whole new guy. It's unbelievable. The confidence, incredible stuff from Jeremy Stephens last week and this week. Ben Rothwell was great as well. A fantastic show, but now we move on to today's program, and very excited about this one. It has been 3.5 years since we last had Israel Adesanya on the show via Zoom. In fact, the last time we had him on the show via Zoom was our first episode of the new MMA Hour era. So August of 2021. How long ago was that? Frank was just Frank. GC hadn't joined the show yet.
Who, me?
Rick was still working for ESPN. On Air Jordan still working for ESPN, I think in their hockey department. Andy, I'm pretty sure, had not joined us just yet. No, I'm actually quite certain she hadn't joined us just yet. So to say, it has been so long that it was just Frank and I.
Yeah.
Right?
OG.
You're such a ride or die, Frank, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
You have been the rock. You have been the constant. And so I'm very excited to have Israel Adesanya on the show at 3 p.m. to talk about, of course, his main event on Saturday in Saudi Arabia. What an opportunity for him. He's excited about fighting over there. First time. He's been there, of course, several times for the big boxing fights. But this will be his first non-title fight since 2019. I believe 12 in a row for him. All main events. Massive, gigantic star. Here he is, staring at a 2-fight losing streak, has never lost 3 in a row, and now look at him. Appears to be in tremendous form, and I'm really looking forward to not only talking to him, but I'm looking forward to that fight. That fight is a phenomenal one. It's an important one in the middleweight division. And in fact, this is a huge, huge month coming up. February 1st, obviously, is the fight, but the month of February in the middleweight division is gigantic with this fight, and then the title fight the following week. You've got, of course, DDP versus Sean Strickland, Jared Cannonier against Gregory Rodriguez. Brendan Allen is fighting later in the month as well. Like, there are some massive names fighting in February in this weight class. Probably Caio Borralho is the only big name that I can think of right now at 185 who isn't scheduled. I'm sure there are others, but off the top of the dome, it's a big one. So it'll be moving month at 185, led, of course, by the last style bender himself, Israel Adesanya. So he'll join us at 3. At 2:30, the 3rd annual Royal Rumble lottery will take place.
Oh, yeah.
Myself, number came out. Myself, GC, Rick, Frank, and for the first time, Pizzy Carroll will all choose numbers. You get number 5. That means Royal Rumble on Saturday. Your guy is number 5. We'll go through the we'll go through the rules. We'll go through what's at stake. It's for the men and women's Rumble. Looking forward to it. It's a fun time. Prior to that, we'll be joined by Darren Owen, the founder and commissioner of the GFL. Talk about the draft. Talk about where they're at. Remember, we had him on about a month and a half, 2 months ago when they announced everything. Good time to check in with him. Prior to that, we'll be joined by David Feldman, the founder BKFC, who had an incredible weekend once again in Philly this past weekend at the Wells Fargo Center. And they have a big show this coming weekend, also on Saturday at Mohegan Sun. And so the fun doesn't stop for the good folks over at BKFC. But first, let us kick things off by talking to a man that we have talked to for many, many times over the past decade plus. And the first time we spoke to him, he wasn't quite in the UFC just yet. And so this will be the first time since 2011 that I talked to him as not a member of the UFC. Because, of course, when we spoke to him in studio many moons ago on this floor in this building when we were doing the MMA Hour for AOL.com, he was there with his good friend Gianpiero Volante, about to corner him in the first round of the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. And so, of course, that weekend, there I am sitting on press row. I find out he has signed to fight Alessio Sakara on 3 weeks' notice in Louisville at UFC on Versus 3. And then, of course, the legendary career commences. 2 weekends ago, we find out he is leaving the UFC, and I think a lot of people thought he was retiring, but then we found out last week that he is signing up with the GFL, and then we found out on Friday that he is reuniting, if you will, with his longtime head coach, Ray Longo. He's a part of the New York team. Of course, I'm talking about the great Chris Weidman, the All-American, who is kind enough to join us right now. Hello, Chris. How are you?
What's going on, Ariel? How we doing? Great intro.
How about that, right? Could you wrap your head around that? 2011 was the last time we spoke where you weren't a UFC fighter. Has that even sunk in yet?
I just love that you thought it was UFC versus 3. It was actually UFC versus 4.
You're so wrong. You're so.
I know.
Okay,
bro.
I was actually going to go check. I want
you to second guess yourself.
I actually was offended by that.
I'm blown away. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. And yeah, cool to be here. Yeah.
Okay, but
how we doing?
We're doing great, Chris. Thank you. But has that sunk in for you yet? Has that sunk in the new chapter? You know what I mean? Because it's a part of your identity, is it not?
Yeah, 100%. It was pretty sad. When I announced I was retiring from the UFC. And when I was thinking about it and realizing, it was 14 years in the UFC. It was my goal to be in the UFC as soon as I decided to get into the sport. And I made it. I ended up becoming a champion. It just felt like, all those guys are family, and I never thought I'd leave. I always thought I'd retire a UFC fighter. So the whole thing was kind of just weird to do. But I'm excited about the next chapter of my life. And I always will feel like I'm a part of the UFC family. They did a great job for me. I was blown away and super grateful for what they did on the weigh-in show. The tribute to me and my career was completely unexpected. I had no idea what they were going to do. Everything was a surprise. They brought on Longo, my parents, my wife and kids, Volante, Wonder Boy, Aljo, and I hope I'm not missing anybody, but it really blew me away. I'm crying. I was crying like crazy. It was super, heartwarming and awesome way to close it. I honestly couldn't have asked for anything better. It was really cool. I want to just make sure I say that, how thankful I am to them.
No, it was amazing. It was well-deserved, well-earned, and I love the fact that you did it on the weigh-in show because you've become a part of the weigh-in show. You are a staple on that show with DC and Dan Hellie and Laura Sanko. I think it's one of the best things that they do. I say this from the heart. It just is fun and must-see TV, and it's so good that I've said to other people, like, don't even bother doing a weigh-in show. Theirs is the gold standard. There's no point going head-to-head with it. I did feel for you, and I wonder if you felt the same at all. You happened to drop this massive career news while a main event goes up in smoke and there's all this stuff and Dana's coming on and all this. Any part of you feel like this, this kind of got washed over because of the Armin thing being so immediate and sudden?
No, 0%. I was super just grateful that, they did anything for me. I didn't expect any of that. So, I think it probably brought more light to my story and the fact that I was leaving the UFC, because there was more viewerships with Dana White coming on and making a big announcement with Armin, not being able to fight. So probably in retrospect, it probably worked out even better. So I didn't think of it like, oh, he's stealing my shine. 0. I was grateful, that they did anything, and so 0% with that.
Okay, so last time we saw you was in December. Could I ask what led to this? Why did you decide to make this call?
Well, I lost my last fight. Yeah, I was thinking maybe do one more fight, put down my gloves in the UFC. You know, the goal. You know, they did the way Robbie Lawler went out was pretty awesome. But so I kind of was. That's kind of the way kind of was thinking I would do it. I would announce that I'm retiring, and put down my gloves, and it would be pretty cool. But honestly, the UFC, they're like, Chris, we're gonna put you on the prelims again. We can't put you, on main cards, and it kind of sucks to see, a champion like that, being put on prelims all the time, and like, what am I doing? All these up and comers, guys who were in my position, like I was, years and years ago coming up, they got to make, new stars out of these guys. And, these, former champions like myself, that are not doing great, losing fights. They're not going to have you go from, riches to rags basically inside the UFC, and it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's just business. And I think they feel bad with it, but it's just kind of the way business goes. And I think at the end of the day, even Robbie Lawler, he puts down his gloves. I think he probably still wants to fight again. I don't think it ever just goes away. So I'm happy the way everything played out. They gave me opportunity to retire on the weigh-in show, and they were super supportive and everything. I always I'm a loyal dude. And I never wanted to like burn a bridge with the UFC. I love those guys. They changed my life in so many ways. I was a kid living in my parents' basement, with a kid on the way, and all of a sudden this thing, the UFC became this dream of mine, and I pursued it with no real hopes to make money and be able to, do anything like I really did. It's so far fetched. So the fact that the UFC exists and they gave me all the opportunities that they gave me, I'm just super grateful to them. And yeah, it was time to move on. And to be honest, the GFL thing came out of nowhere. I wasn't sure if I was going to fight MMA again. I didn't think there would be. I heard the GFL like that there was no more money left. Like they already had all their guys, and they were spending a lot of money on these guys. And I knew other fighters that were trying to get in the GFL, and I don't think there was any money available. So it wasn't like I was thinking, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. It really came out of nowhere. I mean, the day before the draft is when I signed the contract to go into the GFL. I was thinking, I didn't think I was done. I didn't think there. It's not. I didn't imagine myself going to like the PFL or anything like that. So I thought maybe MMA is done. Like there's not that many options, and but I didn't want to be done. I still had that competitive juice inside of me, and I know there's some nice paydays, and I love to box. So I was thinking I'll get into some of these boxing matches. Eventually get to the point of trying to fight a guy like Jake Paul, like everybody's goal is. And so that's kind of where my head was at. And the cool thing with the GFL is that they're allowing me if I'm able to get a big boxing match or whatever, it's no problem with them. So that's still out there as an opportunity as well. So ended up working. It worked out great. And then like the GFL, to be honest, like in the UFC, all the guys I've fought in the last bunch of fights are like guys. I'm such a bigger name than. I'm fighting on prelims. It's hard to get super motivated and excited about it, especially with everything I've done, all the big cards I've main evented. And all of a sudden, you're on the prelims and trying to get excited for, these guys that nobody even knows who they are when, people are asking me who I'm fighting and they're like, oh, who's that? They have no idea. And then in the GFL, it's all these OGs of the middleweight division, these guys I have history with. And it's actually fun, exciting fights. And I get to make a lot of money to fight them. And I'm going to be more excited doing that than fighting these other guys. So it actually, thank God, it worked out perfect.
So when you were sitting there on the weigh-in show 2 Fridays ago, was the GFL thing even in the works, or was like in that moment you thought maybe that's it for MMA and I'm going to pursue these other things?
I think it was right around the time where my manager was telling me that it's probably not a thing. He was calling them and like they were talking, but I didn't think it was going anywhere, to be honest. And I was cool with it either way. And it was really after that things started moving fast. which is weird. My poor, I mean, it's not like, the fans, everybody thought I was retiring. I did leave it open that I'm open to other opportunities. I'm closing the chapter with the UFC. I'm retiring from the UFC, but I understand a lot of people thought I was just retiring from MMA, which I didn't know if I was. I thought I probably was retiring from MMA. But now I'm excited about. I didn't realize I'd have all these different matchups. Like a guy like Luke Rockhold, that's a matchup that not only I always wanted back, but the fans really always wanted to see for a long time. We were supposed to rematch twice, and it didn't happen. So that's a cool opportunity. You got Musasi, you got Uriah Hall, Yoel Romero. There's some fun fights that's really going to make me get into the gym and want to really train hard for.
Have you been given any type of schedule, any type of roadmap at what you're looking at with GFL in 2025? Because I'll be 100% honest, I want them to succeed so much, but I'm worried. So many names, so much money. I have my concerns about the format. There's Team New York that you're a part of. Like these are some big names, and it's not cheap to have names like this. I mean, Dylan Dennis alone probably cost them, a few million just by himself. It's crazy that they got him.
Bro, why do you do that?
I'm sorry. No,
that's so messed up.
But like, have they given you? Okay, you're going to get X amount of fights. This is who we want you to fight first. X, Y, and Z.
No, I think the first card. I don't know what they announced, so I'm not trying to break news, but. I think they were trying to get their first fight in the end of April, but I don't know if that's a card that New York's fighting on or not. And then I think they're going to be, having an event. I don't know. I think it's like every month. I really don't know much at all.
Okay.
I'm with you, man. I'm hoping this thing plays out. I hope they're successful. It's a very tough business. I would think that you don't want to really compete with the UFC. That shouldn't be the goal, I don't think that's something that really can be done at this point, but I think there's ability. I think there's a lot of room to make a lot of money to put on great fights. So I don't really know the business side of it. It's amazing for the fighters. They're doing the right thing for the fighters. I just don't know I'm hoping it's sustainable. I hope that they're able to. Hope they're just really good business guys, and they've looked at the numbers and they see how they could be profitable with this and. It's something that continues, not just for me, but for the future for MMA fighters. I think it's always good to have other promotions that fighters have the opportunity to fight in, and you can make good money. And they're doing a lot of cool things, man. They're trying to set up retirement for the fighters, medical for I think the fighters and their families, 50-50 profit sharing. I mean, they're really, putting their money where their mouth is and trying to do the best for the fighters that possibly can. And we'll see if it's something that is sustainable and something that really could make it.
Far be it for me to try to stir the pot, Chris, but I couldn't help but wonder what you thought when, say, your own head coach didn't pick you first overall. I mean, there's Ray Longo, and he's not picking his guy. He made him into a channel. Like, there you are, and he's picking Kevin Lee before you. I mean, what's up with that?
I think I pissed off Longo. I don't know, man. He picked Kevin Lee. Oh, what do you think? Let me turn it on you. What do you think happened there?
Well, the first thought was, is he trying to stick it to Ally Quinta? Because, like, this is awkward, right? Al and Kevin.
His favorite is... There's one guy that Longo likes better than me. It might be Al.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Al. I don't see that as a possibility.
Okay. Can I be 1,000% honest with you? 1,000%.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Okay. 1,000%, and I'll say to Darren Owen, who's going to join us in an hour, I think the draft was not a draft. I think it was all predetermined. I think they knew exactly where everyone was going. I think the order got leaked, unfortunately, because of some glitch on the stream or whatever, and I think they called an audible and recognized that and moved some things around so that people weren't exactly going on this roadmap that was released before they went live, which I really felt for them, because I know, as someone who pours everything into a show and you try to make everything perfect and then something happens, now everyone's having a laugh on Twitter, it sucks. And so I don't actually think he, quote unquote, picked him over you. And I don't think that there was any intention or bad intention or anything. I think they were just trying to change things around so that it wasn't exactly as it appeared in that picture that came out before the show went live. That's the real answer that I think happened. What do you think of this?
And my honest answer is that I'm going to just keep imagining that Longo picked him first, just so I can bust his balls, and I have something over him for the rest of his life.
That is amazing.
So,
Did you give him shit?
yeah, and especially publicly.
Did you give him shit?
Well, privately it doesn't work as good.
Yeah.
for reasons, but publicly it works out great for me.
This is amazing. So does this mean, do you have to, because I know you obviously live in the Carolinas, do you have to go home? Do you now want, like, what does that even mean that you're, obviously he's in your corner regardless, but are you going to now be training with Kevin Lee at his gym? Like, what does this all mean?
Like I said, I really don't know much about it yet. But from my understanding, really from talking to Longo, is that the guys have the option to train with him and train at the gym and stuff like that, but they don't have to. And then I am actually still not sure if he is definitely in their corners or not for the fight day, but they have the option for him to be in the corner.
Okay.
But so that's a good question for him. I'm not sure how that actually works because obviously a lot of these guys, they're vets, they have their coaches. So I can't imagine them all just dropping their coaches and going over to Longo. But I think that option's there for them if they choose. And I'm not sure if he's definitely in all their corners or not, but I think he's prepared to do it. Longo's the type of dude, man. He doesn't like just to, I mean, he's making good money being a coach, but he likes to train these guys. He likes to get to know them, and he would love to have them all in the gym and be able to train them. But I don't know if that's how it's really going to work.
Okay. And can I ask, I feel like I know the answer to this. It would be crazy if not, but are you going to remain on the weigh-in show, the UFC weigh-in show, even though you're fighting for GFL?
Yeah, which is really cool. They're keeping me on. They're actually booking me for other shows already, analyst work as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were trying to get me to do this Connecticut show this next week coming up for the next pay-per-view down in Bristol. But
oh, I thought when you said analyst, by the way, that we're going to see you cage side, like Dominic Cruz, Felder. Is that of interest, or you're talking more like the desk and all that?
No, that was the desk.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, man. I mean, that would be the goal, right? Is to be like a commentator. A lot of guys put a lot of work in to get there. We'll see where it all ends up.
Okay, but you're still a part of the family. You're still working on TV.
Yeah. Thank God. That's what I'm saying. There was no bad blood or anything. They're super supportive of me being able to go somewhere else and be able to make good money. And I think they're going to have my back all the way through the whole thing, which is awesome. I don't think, and I don't take that for granted either, because it could go the other way.
You have history with Uriah Hall. You have history with Rockhold. You have history with Romero. History with Mousasi. If you could pick one for the debut, do you want one of those guys back, or do you want a fresh name?
No, I would love Luke Rockhold would be my first fight. We have the most history. I know I lost to those other guys, but the Rockhold one was my first loss. I lost my belt against him. And, we had animosity and all that stuff. There's build up, and we were supposed to rematch twice. And I think it's a fun fight for the fans that people would be super interested in watching. When fans come up to me, it's one of the things that come up pretty regularly is that they want me to have, you never got the rematch with Rockhold. They want me to get that one back, and I'm with them.
Don't go into specifics, but my understanding is they're taking care of everyone. Like, this is good. This is not like you taking. Is that the case with you? That these guys are putting their money where their mouth is? They're taking care of you guys.
Oh yeah, yes, okay. Yeah, very much so.
Okay,
very good. Yeah.
We need more players in the MMA space, right? Bellator is gone. PFL a little bit unclear at this moment. One championship, kind of getting further and further away from the MMA game, if I'm being honest. This is good for all the fighters, and I'm delighted to see it happen. I'm delighted to see it come to fruition. I want them to succeed more than anything, so that you guys have opportunities, and it doesn't just have to be one place, because that's not sustainable, and that's not really fair for you guys. So I love everything about it, and I hope that you get the opportunity to do both with the UFC, the work that you're doing with the UFC and with GFL as well. Are other people reaching out to you and asking you, like, hey, can you get me in this and that? Is this something that you're fielding a lot of? that, because I feel like there's a lot of people who now want to get in now that it's becoming more and more real.
Yeah. There's I wouldn't say it's like insane. I'm not getting hit by 1,000 people. I would say like 2 or 3 people have reached out and asking a lot of questions, and is it still possible to get in? And I tell you, I love, especially with Kevin Lee being in there. I'd love to see Ali Quinta in the mix.
Yes.
It's great. It's great money, and I think he could bring a lot of fun to the GFL. Yeah, and there's a couple others that are just very interested in
John Vellante, perhaps.
Yeah, I would love to get Vellante in there. Get him out of kindergarten class, and make some money and throw down a little bit. He's been itching to do at least one more fight. He wants to do it. You know what he wants to do? He wants to do bare knuckle.
Yes.
He thinks he was built for bare knuckle.
I feel like we can make that happen.
Yeah. I just want to make sure he gets paid a lot of money to do that.
Yeah,
he's such a savage. He's the type of dude. I've had 3 hand surgeries, and that dude never has injuries. He's built different. He's very durable. He doesn't get cut very easily. He's a beast. So I could see him doing a fight there.
You like bare knuckle?
It's definitely grown on me.
Yeah.
At first, it was too much for me to watch. To be honest, I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Everybody, it's like everyone's got broken hands, and everyone's cut up, bad. But now I'm starting to really like it. You're starting to see really a lot of technical guys in there, and you could see how they have to change up their game a little bit and figure out ways to fight a little bit different with the bare knuckle. So it's been pretty cool. It's not just guys slugging out. I think there's a lot of technique going on there, and that's what I'm interested in.
Okay, last thing. Anderson was great. I mean, that's an obvious one. But can you tell us, when you think back on your time in the UFC, other than the title win, what's the high moment? What's the apex? What's the one that gives you chills? What's the one that you'll never forget? What's the one that means the most to you? Is there something that sticks out other than the obvious, the victory in 2013? And is it perhaps the flight that we shared to Brazil in coach, from JFK? Is that maybe on the list? UFC 153, of course.
Eating acai with you. My first acai bowls were with you, Ariel.
Yes, what a time.
It was a great time, man. I got to know you good on that trip. And I realized you're not a nice guy in person. Actually, I wouldn't say one stands out. I would say 3 just quickly. Is the Mark Munoz fight for me. I felt like I'd never felt better and more relaxed and in the zone. Out of all my fights I ever had, including the wins over Anderson Silva, I felt best in that Mark Munoz fight because he was on paper a way better wrestler. He had very heavy hands on the feet, and I was expecting, a really tough matchup, and everything just went my way that night. I felt great from the wrestling to jiu-jitsu to the striking, and then finishing with that elbow, well-timed elbow that I never really imagined doing. I just felt it. I was really in that flow state. So that fight stands out. Then the Lyoto Machida fight was my first 5-round fight, and I thought I had him broke in the 3rd round. I remember taking him down towards the end. I was kind of battering him, and I thought I had him done. So I figured 4th round, I'm going to finish him. And then all of a sudden, that his championship heart, he came at me like a bat out of hell, and I realized, holy shit! And he hit me with some monster punches, and it became a really fun fight, really just like a testament of will, and just a great 5-round fight. The 5th round was awesome. So it was just a real fun war against a really good guy, who had a lot of confidence at that time. He wanted to win the belt down at middleweight. He was undefeated down there. So that win felt really good. And then I go to the Long Island when it was a sold out crowd where I grew up going at Nassau Coliseum, in front of, all my friends and family and fans from Long Island. That was amazing. I felt like I won the championship belt. I had just lost to Rockhold, then I lost to Yoel, and then I lost to, that was on a 35 losing streak. Yeah, and then I lost to Musasi.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I went against Gastelum, in front of all those people, and the pressure was on, and I felt great in that fight to be able to get a submission win. The place went crazy. I really felt like I won, a championship that night. So those are the big ones for me.
I was hoping you would say that one. I'll never forget that walkout, and I'll never forget your reaction on the cage afterwards, like it just
I
felt like
lost
this
my mind.
10,000-pound gorilla had come off your shoulders, and to have that moment,
And the people, it was amazing because the kids that I grew up like boxing with in like 5th and 6th grade, that we would just beat the hell out of each other. As soon as I jump on the cage, and I haven't seen them since like high school.
wow.
They're all there, just cheering for me, having my back. It was amazing. I could tear up just thinking about it. That was an amazing feeling.
Underrated one, Jesse Bongfeld. That may have been my favorite submission of yours. Bongfeld and Lawler, the back-to-back. Those two, like that's when everyone was like, holy shit, this guy is really good. This guy is legit.
Yeah. The Bongfeld one for me, both were great. And they had their challenges. Bongfeld was my first opportunity to have a full training camp inside the UFC. I had that, it was 2.5-week notice fight against Alessio Sakara. I won. It was a dominant fight, but it wasn't like, oh, this kid's super impressive. And so I really wanted to make a statement in that next fight. And I was able to do that against Bongfeld with that standing guillotine. And so that one felt really good.
You're the man, Chris. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Congrats again on a Hall of Fame career, an incredible legend, the kind of career people dream of. You took down the legend. You had a title run. You main evented shows, sold out shows, incredible stuff. You go out on your terms, and now you have this new chapter. So well done. Congrats. Looking forward to the next chapter. And thanks for always making some time for us. And bring back the podcast too. All right, bring back the podcast.
I know. I just need to do it.
I know.
I just need to do it. Yeah.
Much love, Chris.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, there he is, the great Christopher J. Weidman, newest member, one of the newest members. I guess they're all new members of the GFL, the Global Fight League. We'll get more on the GFL in about 30 minutes' time when their founder and commissioner, Darren Owen, joins us. Looking forward to that chat. But let's go back to Saturday night now, and let's go to Wells Fargo Center, and let's go to Philly, and what a week it was for BKFC. They've had some moments. They've had, they've had, these kind of checkmark moments where it feels like, okay, they've leveled up. Saturday feels like one of those moments, and maybe the biggest one to date. Around a month or so ago, we had David Feldman, their founder, in studio, an unbelievable chat where we really got to learn more about him, and I think you guys did as well. And so thought it would be fun to check back in with him, see how the show went, and see where they go from here. He is kind enough to join us once again to talk all things BKFC. Hello, David. How are you? And congratulations on an incredible night.
Thank you, man. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much.
Just curious, when you kind of opened your soul to us and the world in our studio, I had a lot of people reach out to me being like, holy crap, like, I want this guy to succeed. I want this company to succeed. I didn't know anything about anything that he's been through. Did you get that kind of feedback as well?
Yeah, man. Unbelievable amount of it. It was great to see that people listened, they cared, and a lot of people were inspired. And that's the whole point of opening it up and talking about it a little bit.
So you look back on Saturday, do you agree with what I just said? Was Saturday maybe the highest moment? Was that a leveling up moment for you in the company? Yeah,
certainly it was. I mean, we broke the combat sports attendance record in the city of Philadelphia, which is an amazing feat. Mike Tyson fought there. Bernard Hopkins fought there. The UFC was there. And we did more attendance than anybody else in history of Pennsylvania. Actually in Pennsylvania, but certainly what I'm worried about is the city of Philadelphia, because that's where I'm from. And it was the outpouring of support that we got from everybody around. It was amazing. I think it was the most amazing show that we've ever done. People are telling me that it was the best event that they've ever been to, not just best combat sporting event. So very, very proud of my team. I always praise my team. My team, they came together, they had each other's back, and it was unbelievable. And the production, I thought, was on fire. It was second to none, and I was very, very happy for my son, David Jr., who was the executive producer for that show. So I couldn't be any more happy. I couldn't be any more pleased of the position that we're in right now and all the opportunities that are coming our way.
Yeah, what I loved about the broadcast, it went so fast. It was no filler, no BS, no let's throw it to the desk for 30 minutes of talking. I mean, honestly, when I was going to the boxing on DAZN and then I would come back, it felt like I'd missed 2 fights. So much was happening. And if I'm being 1,000% honest, the difference in energy between the 2 events, the Matchroom event in Vegas and your event, was just astronomical. And so that's why I feel like if someone was tuning in for the first time, I mean, it was like an adrenaline rush just watching from afar on TV, and my guys were there and couldn't stop glowing about it, couldn't stop saying such great things. This is some of their own footage that they took, and they were just saying how incredible it all was. So again, kudos to you and the team. I want to go back to Thursday if I can. That press conference I thought was perfect for who you guys are and what you're all about. It reminded me of an old school UFC press conference where the fans got to talk. When you have these fans walk up there and just berate Jeremy Stephens with all kinds of insults, what are you thinking internally? Are you liking this? Are you thinking it's going too far? Are you worried that there's going to be a brawl? What are you thinking as this is transpiring?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not thinking there's going to be a brawl. It just was like, it was at a point I was like, all right, enough's enough. Like, let's get on with this thing. Like, I get 2 or 3 people want to come up there and talk about the guy for what he said. I get that and I understand that, but come on, man, let's get on with the show. But, Philadelphia is just different, and I've said it all along. The fans, the energy there, even Ben, what he said, the energy in Philadelphia was like none other he's ever had in his whole career. It's amazing energy here in Philadelphia, and it's not all good energy, but there's amazing, amazing energy there.
Jeremy was on the show yesterday. He was outstanding, emotional. I've never seen him in this state. He did say to us that he signed his contract on Thursday and that he wanted more money, and that was part of the reason why he was so fired up in the post-fight saying, give me my money and all this stuff. Can I ask you your side of the story? Why was one half of your headlining act signing his contract on Thursday, and was he asking for more money?
No, he wasn't asking for more money. They knew what the money was. His team knew what the money was since day one. I don't know what happened with why he got his contract so late, but at the end of the day, it was all agreed upon. Coming off a victory like that, he's looking back and saying, maybe I should have got more money. But, I love the fighters. As you know, I always take care of the fighters. But, some fighters do forget conversations. They forget where they were. They forget things that you've said and done for them. And, it's one of those cases. I think that Jeremy put himself in a good position to make more money now and to build himself even better. But, nothing was, there was nothing that wasn't talked about prior to the fight.
Okay. So he wasn't holding up the show or anything like that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
He did say that he spoke to you yesterday and that you said to him that you guys were banking on Eddie winning. Is that true?
No, well, I heard that he said that the promotion was against him. So I wanted to call him and tell him, look, promotion's not against you. Look, obviously, I'm a Philly guy. I was rooting for Eddie a little bit, but I have to be unbiased. I wasn't like, wow, I hope Eddie wins. It's a great story, Philly story, right? He came out to the Rocky theme. It was awesome. But Jeremy Stephens won, put up a hell of a fight, and I told him we're going to do some things so we make some good money together, and he was happy about it. So, look, fighters, they get emotional, they talk, they say certain things, but I think Jeremy Stephens is very, very happy where he is.
Is he a free agent now?
Yeah, he's a free agent. But we're gonna work on that this week with his management team. But he is a free agent. I know you also talked to Ben, and yes. I know you're probably asking about that.
Yes, go ahead.
And we have a deal, a verbal deal, and we've had a deal, and we just said we're gonna tie it up after the fight. And look, I think his management team is going to be ethical about this and honor our deal. It's an increase for Ben. He's going to make more money, which is obviously why he does this. And he won the championship, so I don't think that's any issue there at all. Ben loves it here at BKFC, and he wants to continue to fight here, and we're going to make that work in the next couple of days. But there was a deal agreed upon. It's not like I went into this thing blind and said, oh no, what am I doing now? We had everything worked out. We just didn't paper it up in time.
So are you confident that both those guys will be fighting, in their next fights for you, that they have a future with BKFC?
100%.
You could imagine my surprise. Like, these guys come across like superstars on your show, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, they're not tied up? This could be a potential disaster.
Look, not really, because look, let's say they went to a different organization. Maybe they're going to make more money there, but no one's going to talk about them. So they have to add up. What do they want? Do they want people talking about them so they can bargain for more money in the future? Are they just fighting for money? What are they fighting for? Because some of these promotions aren't going to be around very long. They're spending a lot of money. They're not going to be around very long. And, they have to add up what means a lot to them. Ben said that he had like all this stuff running through his veins because he couldn't believe the atmosphere that he fought under, and you're not getting that anywhere else right now. So I think there's a few levels there, and a few different things that add up to the complete situation there. But he's definitely going to make more money. I really, 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 truly like Ben Rothwell as a person. I like what he stands for, and I want him to continue with us. And we're going to wrap that up, like I said, in the next 2 days.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the big fight next could be Jeremy Stephens versus Mike Perry. They are perfect for this world and thriving. They're around the same weight. Is this of interest to you?
I mean, it is. It definitely is. We're working on that other thing with Mike Perry now. We're going to know in the next day or two. I have a call to try to make that thing work.
Which thing are you talking about?
Possibly with Robbie Lawler.
Okay. So is that looking good?
It's getting there. You know, they said that the team called me right before the fight actually and said we had some news to share. They called me and they said everything's looking good. And
wow,
I just said we'll follow up this week and we'll try to make that happen. I think that's potentially a super fight for us.
Yes.
I know that KnuckleMania was unbelievable, but I think that we have 3 or 4 more of those unbelievable moments this year for 2025. We just started the year, and I'm excited about where we're going to go. I'm excited about now taking a guy, Jeremy Stephens, who everybody kind of wrote off.
Yeah.
Now we can do a star, and I'm really excited about those kind of things. I love being able to do that with the platform that we have, and we've done that in the past, and we're going to continue to do that. And Jeremy Stephens, he played along with the whole entire thing. He came in there, he fought his ass off, and he ended up, with the opportunity to really change his life for the better right now.
By the way, when I think of KnuckleMania, I think of WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is always once a year, and it's always around the same time, April. Is that the plan with KnuckleMania, or because I know in the past it was in April and stuff like that, not usually January. So, and I know it's only been 5, but could we see multiple KnuckleManias in a year, or are you going to keep it around the same time every year now?
No, I think we started off with February for the first 3, I believe, and then we went to April because that was when the venue was available. Then this one, just the venue opened up for January 25th, and we booked it not knowing we were going to do KnuckleMania. And then I said to everybody, we have to do KnuckleMania here in Philadelphia. It's going to sell. And, a lot of the team was with us, but they doubted that we were going to sell out. Everybody, the consensus among the team was we're going to sell 10,000 tickets. And I said, no, we're going to break the combat sports record. And they all looked at me like I was crazy, like they always do. And we were all just crazy enough to make it happen.
But will it be a once-a-year thing? Just maybe a different... Okay.
It's a once-a-year thing, and then we're going to come up with other things, too. Like, I'm not going to have 20 different things, but we're going to have 2 or 3 different things that are going to be spectacles every year.
Okay. Any update on Eddie Alvarez?
Yeah, we've been talking. It was funny. He did break his jaw. That's not funny. He broke his jaw, and he had to get a surgery to repair that. But what the funny part was is we were texting yesterday, and I said, let's meet up in the next day or 2. And he said, just find me a place that has soup. So he's in good spirits. Listen, man, a legend. And what he did Saturday night for us really took us to another level. Without Eddie Alvarez on that card, it doesn't draw 17,000, at all. We will in the future, but it wouldn't have done it for that night. So take my hat off to Eddie. Eddie will be involved with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship moving forward in some way, shape, or form, 100%. He talks very eloquently about the company. He knows how to talk about the sport. He understands it. He gets it, and he wants to be a part of this, and we want him to be a part of this.
Would you like to see him fight again?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Would I like to? Yes. But I think that his body is not reacting the way he wants it to react anymore. I think that he's getting damaged a little easier than he did in the prime of his career. And we're not in this to make people, take unnecessary injuries. Now, if he wants to and we have a good talk, a possibility, but I don't know if he's going to want to. And I'm certainly not even going to ask him. If he comes to me with it, then we can have a good conversation.
You have a situation after the fight where Conor McGregor, who's obviously very involved in the company, we've talked about this, gets in Jeremy's face and says, David, set the date. And on paper, you're like, holy shit, like this would be gigantic. But then you're reminded of the fact that he has 2 fights with the UFC left. And so what does that even mean, set the date at this point?
And look, it's awesome, right? Anytime you get those kind of moments, look at that. It's awesome. But I can't do it, obviously, unless the UFC wanted to do something with us, and they don't need us for anything. But maybe they would, right? Other than that, it doesn't happen. But it's great viral moments. People talk about it, and now Conor does need to fight, and I think he's going to fight soon. I think he's getting in shape. He looks better. When I saw him, he looks different. He looks like he's really taking it more seriously now. And I think that I think you're going to see Conor back this year. Probably not in bare knuckles, but
right.
That would be amazing.
Is it worth? And I don't need to tell you how to do things, but just like to throw it, like, hey guys, he clearly wants to do this. He's a part of, like, can we get him for one? You could keep your two. Like, can he do a? Is it worth even having that conversation, or do you think that they would just laugh it off?
I think we're growing at a really great pace right now. Not that they're concerned about us, they're not. But if something like that happens, it just moves us up like 5 or 10 more pegs, and I don't think that they want to help us grow. And I think that helps us grow tremendously. But who knows, right? It is worth a shot, and maybe we'll take that shot in the next week or two.
Do you you get the impression, at least I do, he really wants, this isn't just talk, he really wants to do it. It's almost like he's a caged animal and he just is dying to do this at least once. Do you have those conversations with him? Does he say the same?
Yeah, he wants it. I mean, he says, I have 2 fights left and then we're going to do it. I'm definitely fighting here. He says it all the time, and he's like, look what he said, Dave, make the date, make the date. I mean, it was awesome, but look, and I don't ever want to say the wrong thing because I don't need any letters sent to me either.
Sure,
and I have to do that, so I have to tiptoe around the way I say things. But he did tell me to make the date, and obviously there's a lot that would go into making that date. But I mean, wow, right?
Yeah.
Him versus Jeremy Stevens, him versus Mike Perry. Wow, it would be amazing.
Could I ask, just from an ego perspective, you built BKFC, you founded it, all this stuff, and then he comes and he has such a big ego, and even like in the face-offs, it's not common where you have 2 guys standing there and stuff like that. And I'm just wondering how Dave Feldman reacts in those moments.
A lot of people come up to me and they say, why are you letting Conor in the middle? Why are you doing that? And I said, why did we bring him in? We didn't bring him in to sit in the background. We brought him in to get in the middle of the fighters. We brought him in to talk. We brought him in to create viral moments, and that's what he does. So, no, look, I want the company to grow. I want everybody in the company to make a lot of money, and that's what I'm doing. I don't need to be up there. When he's not there, obviously I will, but I don't need to be the center of attention. Let him do that because he does a lot better job of it than I do. Okay.
Ben Rothwell, Mark Hunt, do you have interest in that?
I mean, possibly, but, you got Mark Hunt who never fought BKFC before. How is that fair to any of the fighters in our organization to just let him jump into a championship fight?
Right. So it wouldn't be off the bat.
I think that I'd have to get Mark Hunt a fight first, and then a Ben Rothwell fight. And actually, I know some people overseas are talking about that now.
What do you mean by that? To get
talking about getting Mark Hunt a fight, possibly in Australia, New Zealand, and then getting him a win, and then bringing him over here.
But that would be outside of the BKFC.
No.
Okay.
BK.
Got it.
We're gonna go to. We're talking to a very strong potential partner right now in Australia.
Okay. So who would be top of mind for you for Ben's first title defense?
I don't know. I mean, some of our guys that were former champions, maybe Arnold Adams, Mick Terrell wants a rematch. I mean, he got knocked out. And I said this earlier. I really love Mick Terrell for this. He said, made a post, and I don't know if you saw it, but he said, when I get knocked out, I get knocked out in front of 17,762 people. So he took it the right way, but I don't think that he warrants a rematch right now. We also have a couple more heavyweights up and coming that are calling out for the championship as well. So, we need more heavyweights, to be honest with you. And we have a lot with this new tournament that we're going to do, that we're going to bring over. But, Ben could also be a part of that tournament.
When you're sitting there ringside and, like you watch these knockouts and they're spectacular and they're viral and you send them to your friends and you're like, holy crap. But I'll be honest, some of them are downright scary, the way they fall, head falling on the ropes and just does your heart stop? Because, that's the last thing that a promoter wants. You want it to be great, but you don't want it to be life-threatening, right? these are scary knockouts, and they're not common. That you don't see these types of knockouts in boxing, even in MMA to a certain degree. Sometimes you do, but not like this. You don't see like 4 or 5 in a row like you saw on Saturday. Tremendous highlight reel stuff, but it is scary stuff. What are you thinking as you're watching some of this?
I mean, look, most of the time I'm like, okay, let's get up, let's get up. This one I was a little scared with right here. Pat Sullivan, great kid. You know, really, really nice guy, man. And I saw that happen, and I saw that he didn't really move. But then I did see that he was actually talking a little bit, so I wasn't as nervous because I know that the doc just kept him down. But I mean, look, it's the fight game, and I always get nervous because I don't want to see anyone get seriously injured at all. And if they do, it's also detrimental for the company as well. So, but the doctor actually calms me down because he tells me, he said, Dave, I'd much rather have this guy get knocked out with one punch than take 1,000 punches and then, fall into some kind of coma or something like that. I don't want to see that. I'd much rather, and that helped ease my mind because now I kind of get it more. A one punch knockout for us is a lot better than someone taking hundreds and hundreds of punches.
You had this massive show on Saturday. You're back at it this weekend at Mohegan Sun. I think you're expecting around 7,000 or so people, which is a great crowd. And then you've got February 8th, and you've got a litany of events, not only in February, but March, April as well. Do you need to expand the team? Is this a lot for you guys? There's no time to breathe. Is it time to bring in? Do you need more people, or do you think that you're set right now in terms of like who's actually running the show?
Yeah, so I actually just took a trip to Taiwan about 2 weeks ago, and I met with the principal of Triller. He's actually been the guy that's been backing Triller for a long time. Great guy, really awesome human being, and I had some great conversations with him, and I told him exactly what I needed, and he already started delivering on it. So yes, the answer is yes. We have about 4 key positions we need to fill, top level positions, and then we need another 18 to 20 hires underneath that. And, he gave me the ability to do that. So that's going to happen here in the next 4 weeks.
You may not want to say, but I love this stuff. I'm fascinated by it. Those key positions, what are they?
We have we need some more help with social media. We need some more help with marketing. We got a great marketer, great digital marketer, but we need to go outside the scope a little bit more on that. We have a sales, someone in charge of the sales. We just need to make sure that we have that honed in more and just more, just kind of like everything's a little bit too much fragmented now. We need to bring everything in and solidify. We're running so fast that it's hard to do that. So now after February 8th, we actually have about 4 weeks off. So we have a little bit of time to do what we need to do. And we're going to do that. I mean, we're working on it all the time. Look, Ariel, I don't think any company has ever grown as fast as we've grown and as big as we've grown in that time frame with very, very limited resources. And now that we have the resources to really do what we need to do, I think, the sky is the limit and maybe even beyond the sky. I think that we put ourselves in an unbelievable position in all of combat sports, and we were only money away. And we've said that for a long time. We're just money away. We're just somebody believing in us enough to give us the funding to do what we need to do. And here we are. We have it.
You most certainly have it. And I think that you remind me a lot of kind of early days UFC and the magic that they had. And I say this all the time. I don't know why other people don't try to emulate this playbook. We talked about having local guys on and whatnot. Do you look at some of these other companies that pop up and look at it seems like they're making mistakes right in front of our eyes and say, like, how do these guys not get it? Why are they making these mistakes? And it's great for you. It's to your benefit. But
honestly, Ariel, I just don't even have time to, man. There's so many different promotions out there. Like, I don't even know when some of the other fights are on. And I know you're talking to someone in a little bit with the new company, GFL. Wish them all the success in the world. Heard some really great things about them, but it's just tough to start this thing up. People just don't understand. It's not just putting on fights. It's not just having the backing. It's actually getting people that really give a shit about it and want to watch it. And that's the hard part. And I think we broke through that hard part, and we turned our cult following into a more mainstream following now, because we do have a mixture now of boxers and MMA fighters. And I don't know what you think, but I think I heard your guys that were at the fight said that there's nothing more exciting out there.
Oh yeah, no, they were 100% into it. They were jazzed up, texting me. I was having FOMO, Dave. I was having FOMO at home. I was the one saying like, "Gosh, I wish I went." It's a bucket list thing for me this year. It's at the top of the list. I would love to experience it and see what it's all about because it's unbelievable on TV. So I can't imagine what it's like in person.
Yeah, man. It's really just unbelievable. I mean, you hear the sounds, you see it, like the virality of it is unbelievable. The fans are energized the whole entire time. We don't give them a chance to lull, and it's just it's an unbelievable product live. It truly is, and I think everybody's starting to see it. One of the guys that doesn't really love BKFC, one of the not broadcasters, podcasters, Luke Thomas, he's put something out yesterday with his team, and I don't know if you want me talking about him, but I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
But
Go ahead.
he said that his co-host asked him. He said, "Would it be fair to say that BKFC is the number 2 promotion in the world right now?" And Luke Thomas reluctantly said, and I mean reluctantly, he was like, "Yeah, yeah." So that doesn't matter to me. I'm glad that I'm able to change people's minds. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is let us be as successful as we can. Let us turn into profitability in 25, which we're definitely projecting. And I think that I think the sky's the limit. So many great conversations coming up. So many fighters reaching out. Sponsorships. I mean, off the hook, the amount of sponsorships that reach out to us since Saturday's event. The arenas that are reaching out to us now all over the country. This was another big step for us, as you said, another page that we turned. And I come on here a lot, and I talk about my team. I love my team. I love the fighters. I really do. And if you ever see behind the scenes, you'll see like I treat these guys really like their family, all of them. But I'm almost apologize for being successful, and I'm just tired of doing that, man. I think that we're in a great spot. I think that we just need a little bit more people on our team, and we need that funding that's coming in now. And man, I tell you, I think we're going to take off like a rocket ship now.
I bet there's a lot of fighters reaching out, right? Like we just had Weidman on saying his buddy John Vellante wants to do bare knuckle, and I can't imagine how many people are saying now, like, let me in, I want in. Is that what's happening?
So many, and we're going to start doing those bigger signings again now. We're also growing these guys. Look, there's so many guys like the Hard Rock shows that have a 6,000 capacity. We're selling the place out with all BKFC guys. We're selling places out in Albuquerque with 6,000 people, all BKFC guys. So we're growing the sport, and I want to continue to do that. The big focus on 2025 for the remainder of 2025 is telling stories. It's getting, why do you want to follow, like John Garbarino, for instance, on the show? He smashed a cannoli in someone's face. He then proposed to his fiance after the fight, scored a first-round knockout, has a great story, has the ability to sell. So let's build him, and let's let the fans, let's tell his story so the fans want to see him fight from this fight to that fight to that fight. I think that's really, truly probably the only thing we're really, really lacking, because we didn't put a lot of focus on that. We just didn't have time or the finance to do it, and now we do. And some of the great partners that are coming on board, like DAZN, wants to get into some unscripted stuff with us right now, and I think that's going to change the game for us.
Last thing, when you were here a month ago, we talked about the $25 million tournament. Are there any updates on that? When it may start, names, etc.?
There will be in 2 weeks. We'll have the whole thing mapped out. I thought we were going to get it done sooner. Just too many delays with what we had to do. We're going to complete the whole entire thing next week and the following week, and then announce at the end of the following week. So we'll have everything tied up. Some great things have happened since then. We've got some really good territories that want to host these events that are going to help fund it for us. So it just really took it over the top. But having great conversations with DAZN as possibly being the home of this thing, and I think that's going to truly change the whole entire game for us. But I just want to say, man, I'm really happy where we are. I mean, not a lot of companies could have survived on the funding that we had and made it through 6 years, and now some people are saying we're the second biggest thing in the world. It's just tremendous to even be mentioned in the same sentence. But I think there's no stopping us now, and we're just going to keep putting on great shows, great atmospheres, and building this sport all over the world.
It's really fun to watch. It really is. And I'm not talking about the events, just the growth. It's a lot of fun. So continued success. Congratulations on a great night, and can't wait to see what you guys continue to do. Thanks so much for the time, Dave. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
There he is, Dave Feldman, joining us, the founder of BKFC. And like I said, they continue to rock and roll. They've got an event on Saturday, not too far from here at Mohegan Sun. They're expecting around 7,000 for that event. Then on the 8th of February, they are in the United Kingdom, in Newcastle to be exact. That's going to be their 11th show in the United Kingdom. And of course, their first show was back in August of 2022. That was Mike Perry versus Michael Venom Page, which felt like another turning point for them. Late February, February 28th to be exact, they're back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They've sold already 9,000 tickets, I'm told, for that event. Late March, March 27th, they're at the Hard Rock, expecting around 7,300 or so. And then they've got back-to-back in Dubai in April 4th and 5th. And then they're going to have an event in Italy. So they've got a ton going on. It's really cool to watch. Wish them nothing but the best. And excited to see where they go from here. I could say the same about the Global Fight League. It's an interesting time now for the entire combat sports world, with obviously the old dogs doing their thing and thriving. UFC and boxing is in a fascinating spot, and now seeing some new players in BKFC and the GFL as well. We've had Darren Owen on the program twice before. Once about 3 or so years ago to talk about the embryonic stages of the GFL, and then of course around 2 months ago to really break this open. On Friday, we had the draft, and it seems like we are inching closer now to their very first event. We know where all the fighters are going to be located, who they'll be fighting for. It's just a matter of the schedule rolling out and the events actually happening. So wanted to touch base with Darren Owen once again to see how it's all going and how Friday went according to him. And so he is kind enough to join us right here now on the program. There he is. Hey, Darren, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks, Ariel. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming back on. Obviously, a lot to discuss. You guys have been very much in the news. Let's talk Friday. What did you think of the draft? Were you happy with how it all went down?
Yeah, overall, the numbers were phenomenal. The feedback, the response, everything that kind of came out of it, obviously a couple of hiccups, which is somewhat understandable for our first kind of going live. But I think overall, over 1.1 billion in impressions globally. The numbers were, a couple 100,000 people tuned in to watch the live event itself. So, this is before we even have any fights. So, feedback's been phenomenal. Happy with it all.
So, you mentioned the hiccup. I really felt for you guys because, like I said earlier, we do a show, you put so much into it, you try to keep some things, you want it to all be all well and good. And I didn't even see that something had kind of come out early. And so I was just tweeting like, who's watching? And then people are posting this picture underneath. I was like, I didn't know if it was Photoshop, fake, but clearly that wasn't the case. And so when you realized what happened there, what's going through your mind?
Well, it was hard to know exactly what happened and why and what it was. And we obviously had a lot going on as right before we were about to go live. So I guess one of the streams went live early, about 5 minutes early than they should have. And they were still kind of testing and kind of going through some different things. So yeah, one of the graphics that got showed was, theoretically the draft board. I don't know ultimately if it was a bad thing, because based on that, like we were trending on X, the number one topic in the United States that evening. We trended on Google over the weekend. So, was it a blessing in disguise that maybe, hey, this got leaked? It wasn't the plan, but it happened, and you just deal with it and move forward.
It did sort of suggest that the draft had already happened, or it was kind of predetermined. What is your response to that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, there's a lot that went into that production of it. So the reality is I consulted with the coaches, the managers, who they wanted on their team, what made sense based on, we're stacking the deck, Ariel. Like, that's the reality of this thing. You said it, everyone said it. We all want to make sure we get the fights we want to see. So, due to the fact too, we also own and operate all of the teams ourselves. So, making trades, doing the logical thing to create the matchups that people want to see, we'll get creative with it. We did get the coaches. So like any of the fighters who are upset about, oh, why didn't you pick me, coach or manager? You can blame me. Ultimately, I kind of had final say. We did get all the feedback, and we had planned on going live picks 1 through 120. The duration that would have taken was significantly longer than I think anyone wanted to kind of tune in for. So we kind of accelerated things. But yeah, ultimately, we wanted to put the right fighters on the right teams to also create the logical matchups. And ATT fighters wanted to be in Miami. Fighters based in California wanted to be on that team, and obviously, Sao Paulo is mostly Brazilians and South Americans. So there was that aspect that came into it too. Let's let logic prevail on how these teams should kind of come to fruition. Also getting the feedback, but we need needle movers. We need fighters that have the biggest fan bases possible, and that was kind of more the determining factor was which athletes are actually going to generate the most revenues for us, and which fighters are going to be future global superstars, and also bringing in athletes from all around the world, so we have representation from some major countries around the world.
And so, for example, because I've been asked this question a bunch, and you're the best person to then ask the question too. Like a guy like Kevin Lee, does he have to go train in New York? Does he have to train with Longo? Does he have to have Longo in his corner? What does him being on New York, for example, and this could be for anyone, but just to zero in, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, so he represents the New York team. So whatever performance he has is generating points for that New York team. He doesn't have to go train with Ray Longo if he wants to. That is an option and available to him. So any of the fighters on any of these teams have an open door to go into any of the gyms where the coaches are, train, get advice, get strategy. If they want to stay with their own coaches that they've been with for years and years, for sure. We're not looking to break that bond. This is more look at the long term, look at the big picture. Where does this go? Where does this lead? And essentially where it leads to is billionaire team owners who are going to pay handsomely, you would hope, for coaches to make sure that they have any legal advantage of, against their other thing. You see it in every major sport, whether it's Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers or, Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like the best coaches get paid. And that's kind of what we're just setting up that format. The general managers, same thing. They're in this to represent the team, to obviously strategize, and we consult with all the coaches, all the managers. So it is a collective effort, but the reality is we need the athletes that are going to drive the league first and foremost, and then the team success is secondary to ensuring that it works for all of us.
Considering that, is it possible that some of the cards will just be a hodgepodge of fighters representing different teams, and then just their victories, their results contribute to the standings, or will it always be New York versus LA and no one else?
So yeah, the format structure. So we're looking to kind of replace the void of the NFL's off season. So we're looking to do 2 events on Sunday, a midday Sunday event, and then a nighttime Sunday event, and then a Monday night event. So midday Sunday might be Miami versus Dubai. The nighttime Sunday, New York versus London. And then the Monday nighter, Los Angeles versus Sao Paulo. So each of those, but like if there's a matchup we want to make, like people are talking about Dylan Dennis versus Tony Ferguson, for example. Maybe we trade Tony to the London team so that fight can line up and people get what they want. So due to the fact that we kind of control and operate all of it ourselves, we can do creative things like that. We actually have a first trade. If you want me to announce it right now, happy to do it.
Let's do it.
Sao Paulo and Miami trading light heavyweights. Carlos Antonio and Felipe Lins are switching teams. Both coaches were, wanting to make that shift based on where those guys already currently train. So, we're letting logic prevail in everything we're doing.
Okay. I was wondering if you would do, like a super card, if you will, where it's not New York versus LA and just your biggest and best fights. Is that a possibility, or will it always be the city versus city format?
City versus city format, but okay. Within that, same thing, like we can manipulate it.
Yeah.
We can trade fighters here, trade fighters there. And like over a weekend, look at the value we're going to bring. 30 fights, over a weekend. We'll bundle it all together if you want to buy the bundle, watch it all. And, you can see 8 former UFC champions fighting this weekend, big stars, big names, up and comers. So half of our roster will compete once a month every weekend or during that weekend. So if a fighter fights in April, their teammate will fight in May. And then the first individual who fought in April fights again in June. So that, they just flip back and forth. Obviously, if they're healthy and able to compete that much. But yeah, that's the plan.
Is there an update on how people will be able to watch?
We're literally in negotiations with all the big players, and there's definite interest, making significant progress on that front. So we'll probably be able to announce something in the next couple of weeks, I imagine, and then the announcements will just kind of keep rolling in.
Are you confident that it will be with a sort of, a third party, if you will, broadcaster, and not your own app or your own platform? Basically, a place to make money, right? It's a huge revenue stream. Are you confident that you will strike a deal before the first event?
Yeah, and I think it's just how many deals and with who and for how much.
Okay.
We're literally in the thick of it with all those major guys right now.
Okay. And is there pay-per-view?
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously these athletes we have are proven pay-per-view draws and have a giant fan base. I'll say this, if someone really comes to the table with a deal that makes all the sense for us, that we don't need to do pay-per-view, then we won't do pay-per-view. They also kind of like the idea of pay-per-view based on, the metrics, the volume of talent we have, their following that is involved in this. So, we aren't getting so much pushback on, hey, we don't like the pay-per-view model. They're like, hey, we kind of like this model. Let's put it behind a paywall. Let's price it accordingly based on the different countries around the world. So it'll probably be a bit of a hybrid based on where we go and who with and who has what rights and what territories.
So there might be some sort of non-pay-per-view and then some behind the paywall.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. I asked you this question, and we talked about it yesterday, but I've been asked it a bunch as well, so just wanted to clear it up with you. It sounded like you had maybe commitment from around 400 or so fighters, 420, and then in the end, I think it was around like 300 that were scooped up, and so that leaves maybe 120 or so. What does that mean for those that didn't get drafted? Are they now free agents?
Yeah, they're free agents, and the reality is anyone who we've announced as of right now, we've put this in to literally be equitable partners with our athletes. We don't want to hold them hostage if they don't want to be here. So they can even, they still have a few days to terminate their contract if they choose to do so. No one has actually done that. We had a few athletes that were in the draft based on their managers saying, yes, 100%, put them in the draft. And then I don't know if the miscommunication was on that side. We obviously don't talk to all the fighters ourselves. It's typically done through the management, but there's a couple that hadn't physically signed their agreements yet, whether they had other competitions that they were scheduled for that prevented them from physically signing. But anyone who we entered into the draft pool was, I would say 99% were actually physically signed. And then, a couple of the outliers that, wanted to test the waters and see how it went. And, based on their managers saying, yeah, go ahead. We did that. And, we're dealing with I'd say like 2 or 3 of the 120 that we're working through. So we'll see how that all pans out.
I think the most famous one right now is Rashad Evans because he was public about it. Is he one of those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he going to remain?
Well, we'll see. Like Ali was like literally the day before the draft. I'm like, Ali, we're good to put him in. He's like, yes, brother, we're good to put him in. So we put him in, and Rashad obviously came out afterwards and said like, hey, I didn't sign, but like, I think if you look at the history of drafts and are any of those athletes signed before they get drafted to the team? No. Eric Lindros, Stevie Franchise, there's Eli Manning. There's a lot of examples of, things that happen post draft. And, this is just similar format to that.
By the way, you're so Canadian. Your first 2 examples were Lindros and Steve Francis, 2 guys who didn't want to play for Canadian teams. So I appreciate those and remember those stories very, very well. Could I ask, though, because my read on the Rashad situation was, I think someone was saying, oh, you're supposed to fight Rampage in April. He doesn't have to fight in April, right? So why does he have to be out of the whole thing? Not everyone is fighting in April.
No, and I think, there's obviously a lot of speculation as to how does this all work, what's going on. The reality is, at the end of the day, we want the biggest and the best. And, we want the most popular fighters that can generate the most global revenues. So those are the fighters we're bringing in. Those are the fighters we're most interested in. And, Rashad, obviously having the incredible, phenomenal career he has had, there's interest there for sure. But, if he's not interested, and I think people don't really realize that, like, this is different. We'll work with you. If you want to go do something else, like if you're involved in the whole ecosystem of combat sports, great. I think this is we all work together and it benefits all of us.
What happens if someone gets released in a month who's a big name or becomes a free agent and is a massive name and you want him? Are you locked in now, or can you release someone to add someone? How does the movement of the rosters work?
Yeah, we're pretty much in control of how it all works. We have guarantees for a lot of the fighters. So whether it's 3 fights guarantees, some only wanted 2 fights. So there's flexibility. Also, the reality is there's going to be injuries. We're going to have to make sure that, when we go to the free agency market, same thing. Like we'll always do the most logical thing, whether it's make an amazing fight between, someone who's currently a free agent and someone we have on roster. So again, timing always kind of plays a big factor in where things are at. But yeah, we're here to just make the fights that people want to see and just do it in a different, unique way. Bring in the team aspect, which we all kind of know as sports fans, at least, that formula works very well. And that's what this is. It's just something different and a different way to do the sport of MMA. Like, I don't think most people watch a football game and then check the standings immediately afterwards and see, where are we positioned depending on when it is in the season. It's obviously the competition itself, which is what people tune in for. The results are just a byproduct of that competition and something else to follow along with. Whether it's betting, we have different betting lines that we'll be able to create. Whether it's fantasy MMA you want to get interactive with, our format works really well for creating a legitimate fantasy league. So there's just different interactive things that we're looking to do with fans. We also want fans to determine our fight card order. So if they think, hey, we want to see Paige Van Zandt as the main event, and more votes come in for her to be the main event, she'll be the main event. The fact that men and women are sharing from the same revenue pool for the first time in any sport, we're kind of just doing things that traditionally may not have been done, but logically make sense to do.
Do you have your first date locked in?
We're really close. So what's kind of happened is now we're getting different groups from different places around the world interested in wanting to bring events to their location. So instead of maybe just renting a venue ourselves and doing it all, we may have a site fee for millions of dollars to go to somewhere else and do it. So that's kind of something we were looking at doing for our playoffs. Potentially it might even be happening sooner than that. But we're kind of targeting the last weekend of April. And we're looking theoretically LA or New York are the 2 locations we're looking at for the first event.
I think there's 8 cities, right? Do the events have to be in those cities? Or 6, sorry, 6. Do the events have to be in those cities, or could there be a Saudi Arabia? Could there be a Montreal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the plan was each of those 6 cities will host one event in the regular season, and that's our regular season. So 18 total events, 3 at each location. But now with kind of this new interest, we might be foolish to turn something away that would make a lot of sense.
And by the way, how does a proud Canadian not have a Canadian team in there?
Honestly, Ariel, we tried to put a Montreal team in.
And
the UFC's, I don't know if I should say this. There's someone going into the Bell Center, Bell Place, and blocked out 3 months before and 3 months after. So the reality is there's no venues in Montreal that.
But you could have still had a team, no?
Maybe.
But
could have. We kind of had to just go with what we had.
I get it. There was Toronto, Vancouver, but there's a lot of places that you could say the same for.
Great opportunities to expand.
Right.
Great opportunities to expand. So when those are kind of some wild conversations we're having too, former NFL team owners, current NBA team owners, MLS team owners. There's a lot of groups, private equities, family offices are reaching out. They see the potential and the value of whatever other sports team they own is in the billions of dollars. So, an MMA organization that's set up in the exact same format, exact same business model, why wouldn't our franchise teams' locations be worth hundreds of millions and then eventually billions of dollars? That's the same formula we're looking to implement.
No question that your theme song and the video, much talked about as well, shared all over the place. Here's a snippet of it. Can I ask what went into making this, and how did you get everyone to come together under one roof to do all this in these snazzy outfits?
Oh, we took them out to Mars and had a planet built there. No, AI, obviously.
Yeah.
You talk about everyone coming to the table, and I think that's the most important thing. Basically every free agent came to the table. They see what we're doing, they see the changes we're making. Obviously the revenue share is resonating really well. The insurance, the retirement fund, and just the overall vibe of this is, there's been a lot of greed, manipulation, bullying tactics. Like, this is a league built on love and respect and honor. And, I think they just feel that vibe. And they, I think everyone wants another option for athletes to have a place where they can go and compete and earn well. So this is just something different that they can get involved in, something that's looking to solve problems, something that's looking to kind of just follow a more traditional sports route than what has been kind of following that boxing route.
How did Tyron Woodley score getting first pick overall?
It was a lot of figuring out, like, hey, who makes sense to be the first overall? Who do we want to, have? And Tyron's been phenomenal to work with. Like, the weird ones is when, like, Kevin Lee goes above Chris Weidman.
Yes.
And Chris Weidman can't get mad at. So Weidman sent his contract in literally like the day before the draft. Same with Uriah, same with Tony Ferguson. Like, it was all kind of lining up, but like, hey, like, can we fully like go all in? Like, Rashad didn't have a promo video. You didn't see him in any of the promo stuff. So, there was an element to it of, who's really with us and who gets it and who's backing us even on their own accord. And Tyron is one of those guys for sure that's kind of leading the charge and has been working closely with us. And he gets it, right? Like, he understands that, hey, like, yeah, I've got a guarantee, but if we can actually do well with this, he can make a lot more money than whatever his guarantee is. So I think the guys that really understand the big picture, obviously, the fighters that have a big voice, a big following, a big name, those were kind of some of the ones that we put up near the, first round to just bring in the fans. That's essentially what it was.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Just curious, you have all these big names. Can you tell us any matchups that we'll see early on? There's so many different permutations. Are there any? You don't have to give us the date, the location, but just like this guy versus this guy that we may
like
see.
Faber and Barao, they want to run that back. They both want to do it. Weidman's talking earlier today about Luke Rockhold. We think that fight's great. The nice thing is they don't have the ability to decline. So we can make the fights that people want to see, and we're listening to everybody, right? Like, Tony Ferguson, Dylan Dennis, that may be something that will come to fruition. So we're down to make the fights. Like, Ariel, I'm a diehard MMA fan. Like, I love the sport more than anything. I've always kind of prided myself on making exciting matchups, but also making matchups that people actually want to see. So that's first and foremost what we're going to do is deliver the real fights that people want.
Dylan Dennis is off. It's interesting because he generates so much interest, and yet his resume isn't what those other guys are. But that's to his credit that he generates this interest, and so you secured him. Others haven't been able to. A, was that a tough thing to do? And B, do you think, is it looking likely that his first fight would be against Tony Ferguson?
He was one of the harder ones to get over the finish line. There was a few kind of that took a little bit more effort. It wasn't like he was asking for anything weird or wild or anything like that. Overall good to deal with. So no real hiccups or issues there. Some people you just sent the agreement over and within an hour that's signed and returned back to you. Others have, hey, we just want to make sure the language on this or that. Obviously he rides the line pretty hard in his promoting and, the things he doesn't say. So we had to kind of take out some language that allowed him to be who he is. And, we're fine with doing that. There's obviously a line we don't want crossed, and, we're not expecting him to cross any lines, but, some of the language in the contracts makes it, very respectable. And his promoting style maybe isn't that exact way. So no, we want Dylan to be Dylan and do his thing and work with him and give him the support he needs to blow this up. So, yeah, everyone's been pretty phenomenal, man. Like the behind the scenes, the vibe, the feel, the energy of the managers and the fighters and their coaches and everything. Like it's been a very, inspiring time to see everyone coming together and having the same mindset, the same attitude, and just getting on the same page together.
And you're thinking Dylan versus Ferguson? Not saying it's set in stone, but is that where you're leaning towards?
Well, I think that's what sounds like fans want to see the most.
Yeah.
So technically, Tony's in as a lightweight. I don't think he'll care if we say, hey, you're going to be a welterweight for maybe this fight or maybe the rest of the season. But yeah, like anybody who's on our roster can fight anybody else on our roster. So I think people are scared that, oh, if the schedules don't line up and, LA doesn't fight Sao Paulo at this time, then we're not going to see the fight. No, man, we'll figure it out. We'll make it all work. Like there is an element of like, professional wrestling behind this where, yes, the fights are real, but we will stack the deck in our favor.
Okay. Well, can't wait to see how this all goes down, and looking forward to monitoring every single step along the way. So congrats on the draft. It was fun to watch and to see how that all unfolded, and looking forward to the next steps. Thanks for coming on, Darren. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ariel. Appreciate you.
There he is, Darren Owen, the founder and commissioner of the Global Fight League, coming on. Yeah, Ferguson versus Dylan Dennis. That would be interesting. Rockhold Weidman, Barao Faber, and many others as well. So let's see how this all plays out. Talking to some, I really do think they need a broadcast partner. That would be great. He implied that they're talking to some big ones. Obviously, it was on DAZN's YouTube channel. I think ppv.com as well. So let's see how this all plays out. End of April. That's 3 months away. So news is probably going to be coming fast and furious. Now, in 30 minutes, we're going to go all the way to Saudi Arabia and be joined by Israel Adesanya, one half of the main event for the Fight Night event that is happening in Riyadh on Saturday in what is being called Uncrowned Day. Yes, all the promoters, all the broadcasters, they're all coming together to label this Uncrowned Day because we'll start with the UFC in Saudi Arabia. We'll do a post show, by the way. It'll be GC Rick, and I do believe Pizzi. He may not know about this just yet, but that's the plan on the channel. Me? Yeah, so look out for that. That will roll into Royal Rumble. That will roll into David Benavidez versus David Morrell on Amazon Prime pay-per-view. So it's a fantastic day, touching all three major combat sports. Yes, I said combat sports. Oh my God, he called wrestling combat sports. And speaking of Saturday, so in 30 minutes, Izzy's going to join us from Saudi Arabia. I can't wait for that chat. And by the way, we play 2 on Tuesdays. I didn't mention this. 5 o'clock on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel. Myself, Adeola Depot, the boxing hour, as I've been calling it. Ariel and Ade, even though we go well over an hour, but that's why I call it the boxing hour. 2 guests on this week's episode, beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern. Clarissa Shields, who's in action this Sunday, February 2nd, a rare Sunday show. And Sky Nicholson will also be joining us. So the current Undisputed and the future Undisputed on the program as well. So a lot more to come. For now, though, we do have to get into perhaps everyone's favorite segment of the year, and that is the 3rd annual Royal Rumble Lottery. What the hell is the Royal Rumble Lottery? Well, I'm very happy that you asked. I love this, and it really makes watching the Royal Rumble on Saturday a lot more fun. And I do suggest, if you're watching it with friends, to make your own lottery, because it just makes it a hell of a lot more fun. For more on what exactly this is and why it makes it so much more fun, even if you aren't a wrestling fan, the most casual of casual wrestling fans, GC, Can you explain what this all is?
Yeah, so you got your cranker there. What do we even call that? Drum of balls?
Tumbler
of balls?
By the way, Drum of Balls is a fantastic name.
Shout out. All right, so you got the drum of balls there with 30 balls in it. We got me, PT, 31 balls. Me, PT, Frank, Rick, Ariel. There's 30 contestants in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble. We will each get 5 numbers. We will each get 6 numbers. I was doing the math incorrectly there. We'll each get 6 numbers, and then once we have that, we have the rule sheet here. The numbers apply to both the men's and women's Rumble. The winner of the Royal Rumble will get 15 points for your team. If your contestant comes in second, third, fourth, or fifth, you'll also get points. 10 for second, 7 points for third, 5 points for fourth, 3 points for fifth. If there's any tiebreakers between any of the competitors, i.e. us, that will go most eliminations combined between all of your wrestlers and combined time that your wrestlers stay in the ring. So you really want the winner, and you also want the Iron Man. You want the guy that's going to stay in it the longest, or the girl that's going to stay in it the longest and get the most eliminations. So that way you have the tiebreakers just in case if you tie.
Okay, now these are some really interesting numbers to keep in mind, and this is courtesy of the very reliable smarkoutmoment.com.
Shout out Smarkout.
Number 30, and I hope this has been updated since the last time we read from this exact website. Number 30 has won 5 times.
This is all updated.
All updated. Fantastic. Number 1, number 27, and number 28 has won 4 times. Number 3 and 24 has won 3 times. 2, 19, 22, 23, 25, 29, 2 times. And then 5, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 38, and 41. Those 2 don't really count. Those were for like the Riyadh ones. It's 30. And so, 30 is a big one. 27, 28, 29, big ones.
Wait, those last ones had won 1 time or no times?
1 time. But my point is 38 and 41 is when they did supersized ones in Riyadh, but those aren't the traditional Royal Rumble.
Has anything ever not won? So every number is won then, it sounds
Number 4. I've already isolated number 4 as one.
Wow.
4 has never won. It looks like 6.
I won number 4.
Looks like 6 has never won. 7 has never won.
I want all them.
9 has never won.
The odds are in your favor, Pete. So
11 has never won. 12 has never won.
Oh, okay. So there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
I hope I get 5 ones that I've never won before. That's the
And I do want to take this time to send a very special hello to old friend, and maybe I should even say former friend, because he never reaches out anymore.
Whoa.
Daniel Cormier, who texted me to say that he's watching and enjoying the lottery and is locked in. So, Daniel, you're always welcome, and this could have been all yours. This could have been all yours. This entire kingdom could have been yours.
He could have joined in, and then we could have had 6 contestants, and we each get 5 numbers.
No, we don't have time for that. Okay.
Did he move up or down on the funeral list? Like where?
Oh yeah. In case he's, I didn't tell him this, but in case he's still listening, he may have just taken a picture and shut it off. Daniel, I just want to let you know, breaking news. Oh my God. I just heard Andy say, Frank, breaking news. What is he? Is he on a cigarette break?
He's trying to do something.
He's trying to explain something about the Bills. I'm like, what's going on?
He's making sure he lets you down one more time.
Yeah, 100%. DC, I want to let you know that you have actually been bestowed with the honor of being one of my pallbearers when I die. You are going to be one of the select few who will actually put my casket into the ground, because I wanted to make sure that you can let me down one last time while I'm still on the surface of Earth. You'll be joined by Mysterious Frank. You'll be joined by who else? Who's the other list?
Who, me?
The Buffalo James Dolan.
No, yeah, we said
no,
James
James Dolan.
No Dolan.
No Dolan. Just the Knicks, and then you said you weren't going to add the Bills. Turns out we're adding the Bills.
We're adding the Bills.
Josh Allen can be there.
No, Josh Allen won't be there. Dalton Kincaid might be in there.
Wow. Pre-show yesterday. I don't blame Dalton Kincaid.
McDermott might be in there as well.
Oh, wow.
French coffee.
Yeah, I just
owners of the Montreal Expos. Who else?
The Montreal Expos. Mainly, it's Frank, it's DC, and
then we'll
a
fill in the
hodgepodge
rest.
of sports teams that have let me down over the years. So I just wanted to let him know in case he was wondering where we were
DC
at.
and Frankie leading the way with the cast.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels fitting.
Scenes.
It just feels fitting. Yeah.
There's a new show coming out, Boys at the Funeral.
Yes.
We're all getting together.
Nah, me and GC won't be there.
No, I know. Yeah, it's the rest of us.
Just
we won't be at the funeral.
Sorry, man.
No, we're not carrying the casket. We'll be at the funeral.
I'll be dead by then.
DC, first he texted, "What an honor," and then he texted, "Wow, this is actually an insult." LOL.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I mean, it's,
Sure is.
It's my freaking funeral. What do you think it is? I mean, come on. All right, shall we, guys?
Here we go.
I'm so excited.
Wait, before we...
I wait all year to hear that those balls clanging around.
Jesus Christ.
Yes?
Frank said 31? Why is it 31?
No, it's because I counted the balls yesterday, and I think there's 31, but no big deal. We don't have a lot of time to waste here, guys.
Okay,
We have
okay,
busy
let's
coming
go,
up,
let's go.
Okay, the draft order has been determined by the honorable, what is it, Simon and Schuster, or Schuster and Schuster?
It's like GFL all over again here.
No, just the order. There it is.
Ernst Young always...
Class. Thanks. Yeah, cheers.
Listen,
It's a
PT,
snake draft. It's a snake draft. Pete.
and PT, you're the new kid on the block. I mean, that was the one
I
loss.
should go first.
No, aren't I first?
Yeah, Rick's
are first.
first.
Okay,
Yeah.
with the number 1 pick, I am selecting Tyron Woodley.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, we were synced up there.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
This is now the Royal Rumble
Sorry.
lottery song as well.
Sorry.
We just adopted it.
You were perfectly in sync.
Yeah, I know. We both started fist bumping at the same time.
Okay. Oh fuck! I just dropped the ball. I'm laughing so much.
Now we have 29 balls.
10 for
10
Rick.
Big Rick.
Okay.
Good number,
10
good
has
number.
won one time.
10 has won one time. Okay,
Let's go, baby.
fantastic.
Ooh.
So we're just gonna go. Yeah, keep those factoids coming.
Can we get a camera over his hands, please?
I'm just trying to do my best here in the short amount of
Does
time.
look a little
I mean, for
sketchy.
what it's worth, PT Ariel's never won, so
That is a
can't
good
be
point.
rigging it.
26.
Or he'd say never
26
won.
for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Not
nice
bad.
one for GC.
Who's up
26
next?
That's a
has
great one.
never won. It's
Who's up
actually not
next? Who's
great.
up
Damn,
next?
26 has never won?
Oh, that's a great never
That's
won.
a great
number,
one.
26.
That's a great one.
Frank is up next. Thank you, Andy.
By the way, doesn't Frank win this every year? I don't like
They
it.
do.
We're gonna have to keep the commentary to a minimum here. Okay,
We got time,
15.
we got time.
15.
15 for Frankie.
Yes.
No, we're not holding you up. You just roll. Keep rolling.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Andy. I am next, and I am proud to say that I'm 24. 24, I do believe, has
Wow,
won 3
that's a
times. Yes?
Nice number.
Yes,
Yeah,
there it
nice.
is.
What a coincidence.
All right,
Winning
PT,
number
here's
in the
your
first
spot.
round.
Here's your
Okay,
spot,
PT.
PT.
This is all you, baby.
on.
Here we go,
PT
PT.
Carroll, his first pick. I love this number for you, PT. I love this number. Number 3. Number 3 is a tremendous number.
That's the
Has
one I
won
want, right?
3
Never had one.
times.
Never.
No, 3 times.
Three's good, man.
Yeah.
Three's a good
Love
one.
this number. And a reminder, by the
crowd.
way,
Three's a
there's the
crowd.
first round already in the book. This is going way quicker than the GFL draft. A reminder, this is for the men's and women's Rumble. We did not talk about what is at stake. I just want to let you guys know. Are we all putting in some money? Is
I'm
it?
down for the money.
Historically,
Yeah.
Didn't we
that's
do
been
like
a bit of an
10 bucks?
issue.
No, it has not been an issue. I say $100 each. What do you guys say?
I never got paid
Uh,
last time.
Yeah, not $100 each, but winner take all. $20 each, winner take all.
$20.
$100 pot.
And this time, everyone pays the $20.
Wait,
I forget. Did we do a men's and women's winner, or was it like combined?
I think we combine it, winner take all.
Combine it. Okay.
I don't understand that.
You get
You
points.
get points from
points.
men's and you get points from the
Oh,
women's.
I say we do 2 separate.
Nah, boo. Winner take all.
For real.
Yeah, that's how I say we do it.
$20
Oh,
each.
those
then, right?
fighting
Yeah,
words.
$20 each, $100
Ariel,
pot,
keep
winner
rolling
take
and
all.
we'll think about this.
PT, you're up next because it's snake draft. Love this for you. Number 2. Number 2 is
Wow.
won
Me
twice.
too. Every time he says I love this for you,
I love
it's a
this
shit
for you.
number.
That's a great number, man.
I love
2
this for you.
wins.
What you don't want is like a random 14 or 13.
A
Okay?
26.
Next up,
Not great.
Ariel
This
gets
is bullshit.
14.
I hope I get one in the next fucking round.
No, one's great.
I mean, you're a good spot to get the front end, though.
See, this is what you don't want. I just got a number 7. Number 7 has never won.
yeah,
Okay,
seven's tough.
but unlike
That's what I
you,
want.
I'm not throwing the baby out with the pram. Okay.
When are we interviewing Ray Longo? That's what I want to know. Is he coming in after the 3rd round?
Well, that's the first interview. Then we'll have him
Frank,
again
hit the song?
after the 4th round.
Who is up next? I do believe it is Frankie. Yes.
Frank, yeah.
Big Frank.
Frankie is lucky or unlucky number 13.
Wow.
Won one
Wait, but
time.
What I
What
don't want is
Can I
Frank's
just-
number 13.
Can I just
Sorry
ask,
to
what are
hear
we
from
doing
Frankie.
about the 31st ball? So what happens when
He's just going to say we've already said this one and get rid of it.
Yeah, we'll figure that out once we get there.
Okay.
Feel free as I'm doing this to throw out some more factoids. I think it's nice for the broadcast.
13 has not won.
Okay.
Actually, it has won one time. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Frank has won twice.
Up next is GC, I do believe. Number 6. Number 6.
Why is it PT's the only one that you love the numbers?
Feeling it. I'm feeling like a 29 or 30 here. I'm feeling like a 29 or 30.
Wait, who?
Give it. It's me up. I got 2. I got 2 back to back.
No, what about GC?
Just went. I got 6.
Okay, yes.
That was rough.
Are you putting them to the side or are you putting them back in there?
Number 16 is the first one. Once.
All right.
Bit of an odd number. Those the teens
30.
never seem to win.
No, they like the front or the back. They like the front or the back.
It's true because if I'm looking here, a teen has never won more than once.
Yeah, correct. I don't like it.
If you factor in all current 46 Royal Rumble
winners, them's the breaks. Number 18.
Jesus.
Number 18 for Rick.
That is actually tough.
This is rough right here.
This
is not good.
Okay,
me and Frank, you're in the dirt.
Someone's about to hit a beautiful stretch.
Okay, this is a really interesting one, and we spoke about this number earlier. This is who? GC?
Yeah.
This is number 4. Surprisingly, never won before. Never won before number 4. I'm actually surprised by that because usually
not loving this lottery for me so far.
Okay, Frankie
is the worst.
Frankie is next, and
2 and 3 are great.
Frank, I do have to say.
Yep.
Absolutely love this for you. Absolutely adore this for you. This is number 1.
Hell yeah.
Number 1
Go ahead
Frank.
and just send the money straight to my Venmo. We don't even need to put it in a pool.
Number 1 has won 4 times.
That's nice, Frank.
Go ahead and count 5.
Okay.
Mick Terrell's not on the card, right?
Is it my turn now?
I do believe I am next. And don't love this one for me. This is number 11, which has never won before.
Better than my fucking 2 numbers.
You don't want teens. No, your numbers are good. Your numbers are incredible. What are you talking about?
Best lottery by far so far.
Yes. Stop your bitching. All right, here we go.
I'll do what I want.
PT, I absolutely mid-tier like this for you. Number 22. Number 22 has actually won twice.
No, that's my best number by a long shot.
I actually highly disagree, but there it is, number 22.
Just thinks the bigger the number, the better.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I know the industry. That's why.
Do want to remind you that last year's winner, here I am going on and on about the teens, was number 15, Cody Rhodes.
That's right.
So Frank
has back-to-back winner.
Just saying, this is already in the bag.
He was
so if he was
the
15,
4th superstar to go back-to-back.
I'm not in terrible shape if they do the middle again.
And I also do want to remind you that number 3, Bailey, won the women's rumble. So it was a real mix. Who is next?
PT gets another one on the back.
PT again.
Oh, this is fantastic for you, PT, just based off this information. Number 17. Number 17 for PT.
I like 17.
Won once before.
PT, are you writing down your numbers as if we're not going to have this later?
Jotting down your numbers?
I'll forget. I'll keep my notebook on me.
No, I appreciate that. Who is next?
Ariel, you're
I'm shitting the bed. Number 21. Never won before. Never won before.
It's the first for everything.
Who's got that 30?
Where's 30, 29?
No, I like this. I like this. I like this.
27 through 30 have not left the board yet.
Do want to pause now for our theme song for station identification.
Frank, if you would.
I missed it because
the song. Hit the song, please.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
There's like a technical issue going on.
Unbelievable.
Like, you go to the audio.
It's just, I mean, you play this music.
Just picture a dog walking out. Gegard Mousasi.
I mean, we could literally play the video.
Because then we have to find it.
Okay, no, it's too much.
I'm just happy that we're able to show the lottery as we're putting the numbers in. Earlier, we almost showed it completely filled out.
Yeah, no, that would have been bad news.
Yeah.
Who is next?
I think
Frank.
Frank, you are next. Unlucky number 12 for Frank. I think
you call that
right in the whole middle of this.
I got this in the bag.
You have 12 and 13, I think, Frank, right?
And 15.
Okay, so you say you like 15. Someone mentioned 15. Only twice in history has the same number won in succession. It was both number 30.
And who were they?
I don't have names.
That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah, can't.
Too much.
Actually, I do have names. The Great Khali and Triple H in 07-08.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but Khali was not a real one.
Oh.
It was not?
And AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes in 22-23.
Who had the most cumulative eliminations in men's Rumble history?
Isn't it Kane?
Yes. Well, 45 in his entire career. Anyway, we continue.
All right, this is Connor's pick, right?
Connor?
Jacobs.
Oh, one of my, Glenn Jacobs, former boss. One of my favorite numbers, number 8.
Ay.
You don't love it?
Come on, give me like a 30 or 29 right here.
Who got that? Who got 8?
I did.
Once before, Connor, for you.
Okay.
Number 8.
Come on, here we go.
Here
we go.
Weird how we haven't gotten the double number.
These are two of my last.
Any Rumble parties planned? We getting together? Buffalo dip? Anything?
Dip.
Nothing like that of the
Nah,
sort?
nothing. Especially not after this lottery. My Lord.
Okay. Who's next?
Me. I got 2.
Okay,
hit me
you've
with a
got
good
2.
No
might
idea.
be the best number so far, number 28.
Yeah, baby.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Yeah, that's
Let's
a
go.
tremendous number.
Let's go.
Well
Here
done,
comes a
Rick.
30. 29-30 right
And,
here. We're going to go back to back.
28-30. Oh,
Whose goal was it?
29 or 30.
Back to back.
19
no idea the
for Rick. 19 for Rick.
19.
Damn it.
Whose goal was it now?
19 has won never.
Yeah, of course it's one never. It's a shit number.
Here's Connor.
Yep.
Okay, I found number 31.
Found the double.
No,
Oh, there is a 31.
it's 70. So this is clearly the mistake. I don't even know how that comes
Write
into
it
play.
down. We're fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there it is. We found it. Okay, this is Connor's once again. Oh, Connor, your day has now turned into gold. Lucky number 30.
Let's go. That is huge.
Five
That's
times.
huge, baby.
5 times.
That's
Lucky number
huge.
30 has won. And there she is. What a turn of events.
Wow.
I say we
wow.
give him the
Got it.
70 that you drew, and I get the 30.
Yes.
Wait, there's just randomly a 70 in there? So it must have been like a
I don't
pack
even
of
know what
100
this-
that I bought.
Jordy. Oh, sorry. That wasn't for air.
Oh, yes. Okay.
No, nothing. Keep
All
going.
right.
Wow.
This is how he talks to people, just screaming at people
Yeah,
back
this is-
there all
that
the
was
time.
him in his
Darn
evil
it!
voice. Yeah.
No, because I was looking at 3 different things. It doesn't matter.
Who's
Don't
next?
worry about
Who's
it.
next?
Frankie's next.
Protect your neck.
Frank, this is a tremendous number for you, number 14.
Ooh, man.
yeah.
Frank,
Go on, Troy.
14, 13,
Not
15.
12,
Yeah.
13, 14, 15.
Soak it up. Soak it up. You guys are all like, oh, those are shitty numbers.
I love
and then
it.
you're like, oh, who do I
You know
have
what's
to Venmo
funny?
again?
Frank's got 12, 13, 14, 15. Then I've got 16, skip 17, 18, 19. It's me and Frank are just in the
Frank,
shit zone.
that middle part of the Rumble, you're going to be locked in.
Yeah.
Me too.
And,
Great for you.
And I got number 1, so.
Okay, Helwani is
Let's go.
next. I need something good here. I feel
No,
like
we need
I'm-
Ariel
We
to
need
get something
29.
terrible.
Oh, I love this number.
No,
Number
no.
27. Love
7.
27.
Oh, damn it.
27 is a
Not
great number.
So like 29 is the only good one left, really.
29 is the only decent.
27 has won 4 times, by the
Damn
way.
it.
Yeah, 29, not as good as you think. Only won twice.
I know, but like
I'll do.
This
yeah.
is who?
Pizza.
This is,
Can we
Yeah.
trade numbers?
PT. Absolutely. Trades are allowed, and actually, we can manipulate the trades. Okay, so we can.
What does that mean?
I was playing off of what
Yeah.
Darren Owen was talking
That was pretty good.
about.
Who was
Yes, that one.
traded? The
Felipe Lins and Carlos Antonio Jr.
Yeah, Shoeface.
Yeah, hurry up! I have to bang out the article for our own ground here.
But
Oh.
here's the problem. The thing that I'm worried about is like if fighters can just be like put on different teams, then what the hell is the point of the teams?
Yeah, it did really
there is none.
forge more questions.
Ah,
in
Why
my
didn't you
mind than
ask
That's the
anything else.
camaraderie of the New York team where it's Kevin Lee and
Kayfabe,
Chris
kayfabe.
Weidman.
Anyway, who is next?
PT's got 2.
Oh,
His
so this is
final
your
2.
second.
His
Well-
final 2.
No, you're doing his first one.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
PT. I mean, it is the luck of the Irish smiling down upon you. Number 29.
Oh,
Yes, there it is. Play it. Yes. I mean, we needed the celebration. Can we get the celebration? Yes, there. Yeah.
I've never seen him this happy.
There it is.
That's 29.
Yeah, fuckers. Now what he's gonna do?
He has fucks.
You know, by the way, what the Royal Rumble is, PT? Are you familiar with it?
Called it
Listen, man.
Rumble Mania earlier.
Rumble Mania.
He was like, I'm here for the Rumble Mania.
The beauty for you, by the way, over in the land of the Irish, Eda, it's that it's now on Netflix. No paywall, no nothing.
That's fantastic.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Because do you know they had to send me an email? I was subscribing to WWE for 2 years because of one event you made me watch, and then like last month I just get an email saying your subscription has ended. I was like, "Well, I've been paying these fuckers $20 for 2 years."
Sorry about that.
What were you paying for? Subscription to what?
There was a
I don't
WWE
know.
network.
Oh, the
overseas.
network.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't.
Never
because
watched
it's
it
on
once, huh?
Netflix.
It's
No.
on Netflix.
I
Yeah.
watched it when Sami Zayn fought your man with the hair.
Oh, in the Montreal.
Yeah.
So the
right.
move to Netflix was actually a great thing for you, BT. Now you're saving $20 a
20
month.
quid that I can put into the kitty.
Yeah.
You know, this is
No, I love it. Okay, so this is the final round, right?
This is the final
I
round.
don't
Wow,
really
we
care what I
right
get.
through
Now I
last
have
pick right
29. I have a good feeling about 29. Cena's coming out 29.
This thing, by the way,
Oh,
where did we
pizza.
get this? Amazon?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Still holding up after all
Yeah.
these years.
All the moves,
So
Gonna make
random.
life decisions.
people
based on
stealing
this.
our black belt. I mean, it made it through
Wow.
everything. Who's next? Who's next?
You are. You got one more.
Wait, no. It's
Oh, sorry.
No, wait,
Pizza.
did I not get 2? I got 2.
Wow,
Pizza.
Pizzi's.
What
For
does he got?
executive
25 for
producer,
PT.
kinda slips.
Come on!
Yeah, that's
Yes!
these are the numbers you want.
God.
These are the numbers you
30 is
want.
all I got to my name.
These are the numbers you want. Who's up
That's
next?
still a good
Now
one.
you
though.
would be
Myself.
Ariel Helwani.
Not bad. 23.
That's kind of an unlucky number.
Pretty good.
2 wins.
Pretty
2 wins.
good.
Jesus.
I am fucking buzzing for
24?
this.
What's
Yeah.
left? 24 is a good one.
Who's next?
Frank.
Frankie. Oh, Frank, I absolutely love this for you. 20. 20 for Frank.
Hell yeah.
Good number. Frank.
I'm actually confirming now 20 has never won
24 is
before.
off.
That's
Yeah, Frank.
2025
Brilliant.
is the year for
23?
20 to
I
win.
believe.
No, 22's off.
Why are you trying to guess? Which ones are
1,
left?
20.
And this would be who?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Honor.
GC.
This is GC number 9.
Nice.
Don't hate it. And that
4,
means
6, 8, and 9 is tough.
Yeah.
final
Each
one.
time
I
those
think I've
guys
got
come out,
nothing.
it's going to be some dude I've never heard of. And they're
It's
gonna be
tough.
like,
I got
oh, they're
no
in the
chance.
ring. Oh, and they're eliminated. The fastest elimination in Royal Rumble history.
And
Got no
the
shot.
final number is number 5.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
And 5
Aye.
has won once. 9 has never won.
This
And
is
so, did we get all the numbers?
We
Yes.
did. We got all the numbers.
I think 4 of my
Talk about the last 4 in the draw for me. Insane.
Take the-
See,
Insane.
let's see. Okay, so just taking a look at this,
3 of my 6 numbers have never won before.
it's not even a question that PT has the best. 3 and
By
2
far,
are
100%.
amazing. 22 is great. 29, 25
I'm the
are
best.
phenomenal. And last year, Rhodes got 15. He's 17. Looking at Helwani, 24 not bad.
Yours is really
7,
strong too.
11 not great. I could
Nah,
live with
21,
21, 27, and 23.
Yeah.
Frank,
Nah,
by
Frank's
far the
great.
worst.
No, I'm the worst, but me and Frank
okay.
are at the bottom.
15, 13, 1. I like 1. 12, 14, tough. 20, not bad. Connor, 26, I love. 6 and 4, I like a lot. I don't even hate 8 as well.
Why
Thir-
do you like 6 and 4?
Because they're always in the 1 through 5 and 25 through 30, I think, are the best. 1 through 5 and 25 through 30 historically are the best.
Okay, so just
Well,
the
I'm
4.
stacked in that section. Stacked.
And then is the 30-70 a joke?
I was gonna tell Jordan to remove the 70.
A poor poke
That was
humor
my-
by Jordan.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Thanks for highlighting it.
It's all good.
Jordan,
though.
I thought it was a really good idea. I thought it was a great
And
idea.
9. And then here's Rick, who says he has the worst. 10, 16, 15 won last
I'm
year.
in the Frank
18.
boat. The 28 has to save me. That's
28
all I
is good.
got.
5 is great.
Class.
Nah,
5 is a great
shit.
one.
5 shit. 28's good, but
Now, do you do another one for the women?
no, this is the same
No,
one.
I'm kidding. So what is it? What is the final determination as to what is at stake?
It's $100.
No,
What do you mean? Is it $100? So explain to me what you're saying.
100 bucks ahead.
What do you say? Can it not be like, hey, you lost out on the women, now you got another chance? What do you mean when you say
You get points. So, like, if you won the men's, you
Yeah.
get 15 points. But you didn't win the women's, so you didn't
Okay.
get any points for that. But if you got an elimination, so it'll all work out if you're just trying to amass as many points as possible.
okay, so cumulative?
Cumulative between the two.
Do we like that?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
$20 in the
One
pot?
winner.
Do we
One
like-
Yep.
winner.
Well, I'm just asking.
Winner take all.
Now, is it $20 or €20? What is it?
Well, so that's the thing. It's got
What
to
do you
be
use
20
over there,
USD,
PT?
PT. I could see him doing the math. right?
We just trade mostly potatoes.
But
So-
isn't the euro and the dollar like the same
PT,
right
we had a nightmare with
Yeah.
exchanging currencies.
I'm not
Well, at least
By
we
the
have
way,
a Revolut line.
Yeah.
By the
You
way,
have a
the-
Revolut line set up.
Yeah, I'm on Revolut now, so if I win, PT can
But
send
can
me
we
his
can we send the money
Well,
now?
do I
to
not
a-
just send you the money?
Yeah,
like now.
Send it to me. I'll be escrow.
Guys, one euro is equal to $1.04, so there's nothing to really worry about.
Except for the 4 cents.
That .04
Times that by 20.
It's
that's
87
That's
cents.
4
that's
worries.
80 cents. Yeah. 80 pence, as they say.
Well, what? Am I sending you the squids now, GC?
Yeah, I think that's probably
Okay.
best.
Yeah, Frank's had a problem with collecting.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. By the way, GC, could we get some odds? What are the odds? Who's
Yeah, all right. So right now, actually, you can get John Cena plus 100, Seth freaking Rollins plus 125, CM Punk plus 150, The Rock plus 800, Roman Reigns plus 1200.
Wow.
And then down the list.
That's
they
the lad
go.
Sami Zayn fought.
Jake Paul plus 20,000 if you're interested. Brock Lesnar plus 10,000. Stone Cold Steve Austin plus 10,000. You know, if you just want to throw a dart on one of those. For the women, Charlotte Flair minus 200. Bianca Belair plus 175. Io Sky plus 325. Sneaky don't mind Io Sky there. Becky
Yeah.
Lynch plus 500. Alexa Bliss plus 1,000. Liv Morgan plus 1,600. And down the list it goes. You can get Roxanne Perez for plus 10,000 if that fancies you. Defending champion Bailey plus 10,000 as well. A couple props I wanted to throw out to you that kind of interest me. Anyone eliminated under 10 seconds in both men's and women's is minus 200 on each.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I might take that on both.
I think there's only, I could be wrong, but I think there's only 2 matches other than the Rumble, and the Rumble takes very long. Ladder match, Cody Rhodes, champion versus Kevin Owens, and then Women's Rumble, Men's Rumble. I think that's it. Oh, no, there's a tag team match as well. So it's really all about those 2. I think a lot of people are thinking John Cena is going to win and then go up against.
That's my pick. That's my pick.
That's what you're feeling?
I know the industry. Yeah.
Hey, Punk's got this one.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Guys, the internet is all at Twitter over this Jake Paul, Logan Paul promo poster that's been posted. And so there it is, yeah. Jake Paul posted this. There was a video as well. That is some kind of poster. American flag in the background. March 27th on Max. What day is March 27th? It's a Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a Thursday. And so, can I break the fourth wall?
Break it, man.
Yep.
It's already broken.
Broken.
Is it broken?
Been broken.
Shattered.
Okay. I'm struggling with this one.
What are you struggling with?
I thought about starting the show talking about this because this kind of came out right before we went to air, and I see everyone texting me about it and talking about it. I know what's being talked about and what's being announced, but I'm not quite in the position to discuss it. Now, no one hates the I know something you don't know guy more than me.
No doubt.
But I feel like I'm in a tough spot here. So I was just looking for some guidance. Yeah.
Well, to me, I think we can all decipher that it isn't a fight. The fact that it's on a Thursday, the fact that all it says is HBO Max. There's no information on where it would take place. Like you're just going to drop a poster, and that's how we're going to announce that a boxing match is happening.
They're not fighting.
Come on.
Okay.
Like,
I just want everyone to know this is being said by GC Connor Burks, PO Box 14653.
So you know.
No, but they aren't. They aren't fighting.
They're not fighting.
Come on.
At least not right now. This is not a fight announcement.
The dogs in the street know they're not fighting, Helwani. Come on. What are you doing? Tell us.
You laid it out perfectly there. You laid it out perfectly there, Connor. No one drops something like that. It's tremendous promotion. It's tremendous promotion for something. It does suggest, though, what's my takeaway from this? My takeaway is there is an appetite to see these two guys fight.
Oh, for sure. People were blowing up about it.
I've said it all along. This is the best fight for Jake.
You don't think so, Pete?
I don't know. Like I can remember once I saw them and I was like, I really don't think they like each other. But I also think they're too smart to actually fight each other. Like if they do fight, I don't think people would be very happy with the result of that.
Oh, I think people would love to see it. Like I think whether you have an appetite or whether you want to watch it or not it's indifferent in this situation. I think people would tune in and watch.
Oh, I think they definitely watch it.
Yeah,
I think people
also just with how successful they are at drumming interest in anything they do. Imagine their combined powers geared toward making this a thing. It would be massive.
Like also just like the post that they made like all a shared Instagram post with Max, Logan, and Jake. And the caption is just the moment you've waited a decade for, March 27th on Max. It's not, they didn't mention anything about what they're doing.
And the Thursday, the Thursday isn't the weirdest thing. Fights have happened on weird dates. But yes, I would say smart people can understand that there's something going on. But I do maintain, it kind of reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon back in the day. Everyone can relate to the idea of beating up their boss. That's what everyone used to say, right? Everyone wants to, kick the boss in the stomach and flip him off and stun them and all this stuff. And I think a lot of people can relate to the idea of some sort of fight against your brother if it's good-natured. They've done a great job of planting seeds throughout the year throughout the years, that I think this would be a mega event, and I hope they don't take this the wrong way. I think they would do it. Remember Ken Shamrock and Frank Shamrock back in the day? They weren't even actually like fraternal brothers, right? And people were like, yeah, this is a little uncomfortable. And they acknowledged that too. And there was once a time where it seemed like it was going to happen, but then it never happened. I think Jake and Logan would actually do it. I really do.
They're too good of businessmen not to do it. Before it's all said and done, they will have to do it because there's too much money.
You think before it's all said and done, they fight each other?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, will they try to actually maim each other? Probably not, but...
That's going to be the problem. It can't
That's what I'm saying.
It can't be a sparring.
It's going to be Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen.
No, it won't be that because I think you could still box somebody without trying to take their head off, but...
Oh, my God. It can't be... No way. It won't be Chael Sonnen versus
I know.
Anderson.
I'm not saying it's that bad.
That would be a disaster.
I mean, how much of a showman Logan is in WWE? They would... I think they'd make it entertaining, but...
You know what I'd rather see, if I'm being honest? I'd rather see them do MMA. Because I feel like even if you're not...
They don't know what they're doing.
What do you mean? They'd wrestle. They'd do something. I'm
the
into
wrestling
that.
thing. They wrestled in hh school. That's like me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd
rather see boxing, but
no, I don't want to see boxing.
Whatever the line is on.
I'd rather see boxing. That's what they're best at. That's their thing.
Nah, because boxing.
Who's the better boxer?
Too many places you can kind of just.
It is so fascinating.
Jake is the better boxer. Jake is 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. At this point, I mean, he has more fights.
Doesn't that even the playing field too? It being MMA, I think MMA is more interesting by a mile.
Not for me. There's a weird thing like that whole scene with Connor in the bus, and Jake's like, "Oh, you wanted the easier fight," and then remember I did the sit down with Logan, and he implied that Nate wanted the easier fight. Like you're sitting right next to your brother and saying that he's the easier fight. How could that not be insulting? Unless they're all in on it.
I have to imagine he knows he's not as good a fighter.
I don't think he thinks that.
I think he probably thinks that. He seems pretty self-aware.
What draws bigger numbers, Jake McGregor or Logan Jake?
Jake.
Jake and McGregor.
Jake was in both options, Frank. How could it be?
Jake and McGregor.
What?
Just Jake.
Oh, just Jake, period?
Connor is still a bigger fight star than both of them.
Yeah.
He's not a bigger like global like name potentially than these guys just because of what their fan base is and their global presence. Logan significantly helped by the WWE aspect of it, but Connor, when it comes to a fight, is still a much bigger name than both of them.
Yeah, I agree, but I think this would be massive. I think it would be big enough for a Netflix.
This is my number 2. Maybe like a Canelo, but this is like it's up there. It's up there. It's a top 3 fight for Jake Paul. Is Logan.
Yeah.
Logan, I don't even think of in the equation as much because he's not the boxer, right? Like he's kind of like out of the scene. He pops in for a big one, potentially against Connor, as that rumored kind of thing was, or even against Jake. Jake, I think of as having legitimate options, like a boxing fight with Connor, a boxing fight with Canelo, a boxing fight Mike Tyson he's already knocked off, a boxing fight with Logan. Those are massive. Those are truly massive spectacle global events.
Bigger fight, Jake Logan, Dennis Ferguson.
Stop.
What teams?
I'll tell you what I'll enjoy more.
Yeah.
Does Dennis Ferguson get the most attention of any of the fights possible for GFL?
Like, it's going to be like the song by a million. You know
Probably,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's
crazy. Think about like the hero opportunity for Tony Ferguson there.
It is.
Get back in the win column and to do it against Dylan Dennis.
I mean, Logan beat up Dylan Dennis, and it didn't necessarily make him into a hero. You know,
but Dylan's performance.
Tony Ferguson is a baby face,
but also Dylan's performance in that one kind of really soured people on.
Yeah, man. After Darren's appearance, you guys more into the GFL?
Need to see events. Need a schedule.
I screwed up, Connor.
What?
I should have asked about the merch.
Aye, and the mascots.
Yes.
We need the logos and
That's
everything.
when we're going to get really involved.
All right. 16 times in a row, the streak is over. It ain't happening. You forgot to ask that question.
What 16 times? What are you talking about?
16-time Journalist of the Year.
Oh, right,
You're
right,
out of the
right.
running. It's over, brother.
Damn it.
Yeah, why are you afraid to ask the hard questions, Helwani?
Come on,
That's the
man.
thing about you, mate.
It's
a joke.
I thought we had something at one point. New York Empire.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to ask about the team names, too.
So I'm saying we need team names.
What did you ask this person?
Yeah,
I know.
I really didn't ask anything. He did, by the way, he did kind of drop a little nugget about the Montreal event, if you heard that one.
Yeah, Bell Center, what?
But by the way,
Are we going?
Would be great. I mean,
Roadshow?
Is that the one
Live show?
where Turkey Dana and I break bread? Is that the one?
Yeah.
That might be the one.
So.
Breaking
Well,
Turkey.
I think the GFL lunch,
Sheik, Dana White, and Ariel Helwani break bread at GFL Montreal.
No, UFC Montreal.
Oh.
Yes. What? What are you
I thought you were
talking
about a GFL Montreal event. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. No, that would be.
How confident percentage-wise are both you lads on the first event happening?
I'm pretty damn confident. And we shall leave it at that, Pizzi, because we have very important things to get to. But let us move along now. This is a huge deal. This is a huge honor. It's a huge privilege. We've been trying to make this happen for quite some time, and so let's not waste any time. Let us go all the way down to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Would it be down? I'm not quite sure. According to Carl Froch, it would just be here. It would probably be to the east. I think it is. Anyway,
flying fuck about Carl Froch or what he's got.
That's right, Frank. That's right. In any event, massive deal, massive opportunity. So very excited to say hello for the first time in a very long time to the one and only Mr. Adesanya. Is he there?
Yes, sir. We are here. We are live.
Fuck, man.
Wow, I love it.
No,
I never hear you cuss.
Yo, this is awkward, Izzy. Izzy, how are you? But this is shit.
It's not awkward. We're still connecting. We're just connecting over Zoom.
No, it's awkward because I was hitting up Tim and incessantly bothering him, but I asked for David Adesanya, not.
Oh,
fucking hell.
I'll get him.
That's who I wanted. The uncrowned 145-pound champ.
I'll get him real quick. I'll go get him.
Fuck, I screwed up. I just kept saying Adesanya, and I meant David Adesanya. It's good to see you, my friend. This is great. What a treat. I know you don't like the Zooms, but it's a big deal.
I'm changing I think the world's moving in a different way now, so you kind of have to get with the times. And I do like it more personal in person because I feel like it's better connection. But hey, we still connect.
Yes. So this means a lot. Thank you so much. You're over there in Riyadh. It seems like anytime there's a big event, especially the headliner, they treat you well. I had the opportunity to go one time. You get off the plane. They give you those dates. They give you the tea, the flowers. Did you get the whole treatment?
Yes, I got the treatment a little bit this time. Not as much as other times, but a little bit. It was quite low key.
Okay. The haircut is nice. I did get a sneak peek at the haircut last week. I want to let the people know, and I hope that you don't mind me saying this. You did a very nice.
Yeah, what we're talking about.
Yeah, are you okay with me saying this?
Yeah, man, it's cool.
Oh, my nephew, unfortunately, who's a gigantic fan of yours, he came in studio when you came a couple of years ago. You were kind enough on his birthday to give him a $100 bill. He still has it in a case in his room. Jared, he'll be embarrassed about me saying this. He tore his ACL recently skiing, and I asked if you could send him a video to uplift him, and you were kind enough to do so. You did say that he was on the bunny slopes. You heard through the grapevine when he got the injury, but I noticed that your haircut was a little longer than usual, and the example that you gave me, the symbolism that you gave me was really interesting. Where were you at with that type of haircut?
I call it like album mode, like when a rapper's in the studio, fucking just dropping bars on tracks and stuff, and you don't really have time. It was good for me though, because to be honest, when I get a haircut, I kind of get horny a little bit, so I start to like venture outside. So it was nice to just stay inside and not try and be slick and just work. So yeah, I've been working, man, and the haircut was or lack of a haircut was a show of it.
Can I ask about that sensation? You get the haircut and you get frisky. What is that? You look so good in the mirror that you just want to go out there on the town?
It's not me. It's not me, man. It's just fuck. I was just saying as it is, but like every man knows when you get a haircut, you start looking different, you start feeling different, you start walking different. Hey Tim, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just like
yes. I love it.
But yeah, you just get a little horny, and then you just start to find yourself in situations.
Yeah, and the great GSP once said, you have to abstain if you're about to have a big fight. So it's part of the process.
You don't have to. Well, I mean, but to be honest, this camp would be the most I have actually. Yeah.
Really?
There might be something with semen retention shit. It might be. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But yeah. I've just been working, Ariel. I've just been working, and I'm happy with the work. I'm happy with the progression, and I can't wait till this weekend. I'm quietly confident in my skills.
By the way, could I just ask, was that a conscious decision on your part, the abstaining?
Yeah, it was. It's always there. I'm always horny, but it's like you just, it's put it this way. I like the freedom of thought. I like the freedom of choice. So I like to know I can do something, but I choose not to. And yeah, it's a readily available option, but I just chose not to as much this camp.
Okay. I like to, you bring us into your world through your YouTube channel, Freestyle Bender. It's tremendous. And then through a couple interviews here and there. And I try to find these little nuggets because I don't want to ask you the same thing as everyone else. And I know you did a bunch of interviews last week through Steak and whatnot, and they're great as well. And one channel that I always love to go to, kind of off the beaten path, is Combat TV, the OG, who comes to your gym. Yeah, he's an OG who's been covering you guys for a very long time. And he did an interview.
Kind of like you.
I appreciate that. He did an interview with Eugene, who has really, Eugene used to be readily available. Now it's harder, it's harder to get Eugene than the president of the United States on this program. He just doesn't want to do anything anymore, which I like. I respect.
I call him Big Affairs. That's what I call him. Big Affairs Eugene.
He's a big deal.
He's a big deal now. Oh, Big Affairs. Call him that next time you see him. Big Affairs Eugene.
I need to get him to respond to a WhatsApp text first, but next time I see him, I will say that.
Bro, you're not that guy. He's harder to get a hold of than me.
Interesting.
He's a fucking ninja. Yeah.
He said to Combat TV, what's the gentleman's name, by the way?
Tony.
Shout out to Tony.
Yes.
He said that at the beginning of this camp, he set some criteria. He had a frank talk with you, and he said that if this training camp is going to be like the last couple of ones, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in being a part of it. I'm not interested in training you. He said that he wanted to set some challenges for you, make some demands. Otherwise, he didn't want to be a part of it. He wanted to go back. He said, and I quote, "I want to turn back the clock to the Izzy who would ask me for $20 when I only had $20 because you had nothing else to your name." Is this accurate? And if so, can you tell me about those conversations? Because those seem like tough conversations to have with someone like him.
No, really, no. Me and him butt heads a lot, so it's not really hard to talk honestly with each other. But yeah, after the last fight, I just said, because the last fight I had with Drickus was the most active I've ever been in any fight, and we've just discovered that we didn't have enough gas in the fuel tank, so the output, the work rate wasn't able to sustain it. And unfortunately, I made a mistake and got, subbed. But I told him and I made a promise. I was like, yeah, I'll fix it. So I did wind back the clock and kind of just, to be honest, yeah, in the sense of borrowing $20, I just kind of lived like I was broke again. Like I didn't really have millions in the bank.
And so he was really being serious. Like, if you're not going to take this seriously, I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, because you have to realize Eugene has lost people in this game in the ring. Like he looks at this differently, and Lolo had to bring him back through a series of questions and phrases. So he takes this very seriously, and I can definitely say we had an agreement, and yeah, we are where we need to be right now.
If he's not a part of the training camp, are you interested in being a fighter? Like, can you go into battle without him?
I don't want to think about that.
Okay. But he did say that to you, right?
Yeah, in more so words, pretty much he's just like, something has to change. So I was like, yep, something has to change. And a few things have, yeah.
Can I ask what changed?
Just perspective and let me think how I'm gonna flesh this out. Just the perspective. Like, look, when I came in the game, the way I approached the game was different. I did what I set out to do because I had a rough plan. Now I don't need to approach the game the same way I did when I got in the game. I've established myself. I've been, I'm gonna be in the record books or whatever in the history. and I can approach the game differently. So I'm in a good place in the game and fighting right now. I'm in a good place in life where I don't need anything. I'll just do what I want to do. And I want to keep fighting. I want to keep doing this at a high level. So yeah, it kind of frees you up a lot in a sense. So yeah, I hope that made sense.
No, it makes total sense. I also heard you say that you're on a better track now than you were maybe for the last two fights. So what is the difference in track? Because like there you were against Dricus, tremendous fight. You're in a title fight, your main event, etc. So you hear a lot of people say that, but what does it actually mean? Oh, it's a new me, or I've turned back the clock. These are things that often people say before fights. What does it actually mean when you say them?
When I say it this time, and the other times they're true as well, but there's levels. There's always new levels you can hit. So I've hit a new level now. I've hit a new level where it's like, again, I don't need anything. I just do what I want to do. And for this camp example, like I told you, I was just, in album mode. I was working. And even in my personal life, I just not cut out, but just stayed away from places or people that don't serve me in my ultimate goal. Yeah. And I just kind of looked, at my surroundings, looked at what I'm consuming, and just, made a few changes just to align more with what I want to really get done in this game. And for this camp, I can definitely say I achieved that and then some.
You love the "y'all must have forgot" line. I love it as well, always saying that about different people. At the very beginning of this fight camp, you told your brother on your channel that you forgot how good you were, that you needed to be reminded how good you were. And so was that guy that we saw in August and a year prior against Strickland, like, were you having confidence issues? Like, to say, I forgot how good I was, were you having a crisis of confidence?
No, I wasn't. I was very confident, but it was just... then it's hard to say without getting too personal, as in like
get personal.
My personal.
It's okay.
Nah, this is the internet, man.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Some people know some shit about you personally, and then they'll think that's how it is for life when things can change.
I get it.
So, for me, I just had to look at myself. Example: don't take things too personally. Like, none of these motherfuckers know you. So that was one thing I definitely came away with in my last two contests, and I just know how to approach the game now. Like, this fight's gonna be a boring lead up for people because there's no really beef between me and him. But I mean, next time I have beef with someone, I know how to approach that. I know how to handle that very well. I've done it in the past very, very well. Trust me, I have. You guys have seen. But the last two, I didn't approach it very well.
Do you regret that? Because it was very personal with those two. No?
No. Hell no. It was personal, but I don't regret it. I just did things I would have changed in my understanding approach to those beefs. This is warfare. And if you look, I took 2 L's, so I pulled back and I'm like, okay, address what did I do wrong? And as a general, I addressed it and I was like, cool, I fucked up there. Okay, I could have done that better. And then that's how you get better. You have to really take a look at yourself and get better in all aspects. So yeah, I don't need to share that with everyone, but I know what I have done better this camp, a lot better this camp.
Whatever those feelings were, have you completely shed them? We saw you and Dricus in the back share a great moment with your families and the jackets and all that. Is there any animosity there because of what was said beforehand or how it played out with either guy?
That doesn't serve me at all. That's gone.
Okay.
That doesn't serve me.
To that point, I'm not sure if you saw it. I think you were asked about it today by Oscar Willis, but we had Alex Pereira in studio yesterday. And,
yes.
And it was a great answer to a question about his relationship and his stance towards you. I just wanted to play it for you real quick and get your reaction. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's Alex yesterday. Do you have love for Israel? Like when you watch him compete, if you're watching on Saturday, because of the time you spent together, do you hope for the best for him? Do you want him to win?
I don't see myself cheering against Israel Adesanya. I wish him the best, and I think that maybe without him, I will not be where I am today. I would have not got in the UFC with the good contract that I did due to the history that we have.
What's your reaction to that?
Nah, man. I'll say like same. I feel the same way. I think God blessed me with a great opponent like Alex Pereira. He blessed me with a great challenge like that. And it's easy to say that now on this side, but fuck, it takes a lot to take on that man. And I always knew that it would have history, and I always knew I could best him. And I'm glad God blessed me with that challenge to be able to rise to the occasion. And I'm glad we can kind of share. Even when we ran into each other at the airport, like what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were still kind of like beefing, but there was this is before he fought Jan. We had a little conversation after the TSA at LAX or whatever, and then went our own ways. And it was a cordial civil conversation with a limited language barrier, I guess. But yeah, I respect the guy, and I want the best for him. I like what he's doing. I like the fact that he's running through everyone, because again, it just shows how good he is.
I asked him about you training with Rob and all of that, and if he would be open to training with you. And I thought his answer was phenomenal. He essentially said, like, who better than me to tell him what works and doesn't work? We've been in there together twice in MMA, twice. He was really into it. And so I'm wondering, like, is this of interest to you? Would you ever be interested in doing what you did with Rob with him?
Yeah, definitely. Again, these things happen organically. You can't now Kith.
Yeah.
Like it happens organically. So when it happens and the stars align, it'll happen, but it hasn't yet. So yeah, I'll be open to it, because again, he's a guy. And look, I have, one of my boys lost, looking to come for his belt as well. So when that happens, I'm gonna do my best to help the bro become a world champ. And yeah, after that, we're all on the same journey, trying to do our best for our families and achieve our dreams and just set ourselves up for life. So I can't hate on someone who's on, I guess, the same journey as me. I could, but it doesn't serve me.
The stuff with Rob was incredible. I know you've talked about it ad nauseum, so I won't ask you about how it all got made and all that stuff. But he did say on the show last week, Rob, that back in 2019 he would have bumped you with his car. That's how deep it was, right? And it's a great honest, just a nudge, but it's a great honest answer. It's so lovely to see you guys on good terms, and the stuff with the matcha is just amazing. It's just amazing. Could I ask, did you feel the same way about him? Did those thoughts cross through your mind back then as well?
I don't know if I would have hit him with a car, but I definitely would have hit him. Back then. But I'm just happy he pulled up. I'm happy he came through. I'm happy he just shared his energy with the gym, his skills, and we're just two chill guys, eh? Like, we sat down at my house and we were doing the breakdown, but it was like we're kind of just chilling with David and my boy Matt, and we were just talking shit, And even after the cameras were off, we had a little bit of just chin wag, and it was just cool. Again, why would I hate someone who's on the same journey as me or similar journey as me? Because I understand what he's trying to do or what he's done, because he has done it. One of the first to do it from the Anzacs, So yeah, I always have respect for him, but now I have so much love for the guy, and I can't wait till we work together more in the future.
It has to be incredibly freeing. And
no,
do you see me?
Yeah, it was lagging. Yeah, yep, we're good.
It has to feel incredible to be in a good place, to have peace, to have some sort of kinship, friendship with these guys who are once foes, rivals that you dreamed about, that you prepared for. Like, that has to be an amazing weight off your shoulders, no?
No, wait, no, but definitely, like what I said about if it doesn't serve me, because if I'm holding on to some shit that doesn't serve me, it's just gonna poison me. So why hold on to it? And I've seen Rob, like last time I saw him before he pulled up was when Alex fought Islam, and Rob was in the crowd. But I saw it backstage. We talked and then shared a little joke. So I wasn't gonna like meme mug him there. Silly. So yeah, if the energy or the feeling doesn't serve me, release it, let it go. And I've let it go.
Like Elsa, right?
Hey, let it go. Let it
Yes.
go. Good callback.
Your top pinned post on Instagram is a 20 slide carousel that is a hodgepodge of many different things in many different places and states. It's an incredible collection and maybe like some sort of insight into your mind. It's from October of this past year.
A little bit.
Can I ask about one particular thing? One particular thing is a video of you on the couch where you alluded to something earlier in this chat where you're saying like, I want to let people in, I want to show people a different side of me, I want to talk about personal things, but it all gets mixed into this whole MMA pot, this professional life, and it could affect my professional life. It's a tease there that you want to say something, you want to share something, you want to get stuff off your chest, but you're being held back.
Like I want to, like my real fans, my real fans, the ones that really love me, the ones that fuck with me, that ride with me no matter what. I want to show them parts of my life that I've never really shown. Well, apart maybe the documentary, I showed a little bit more of that side, but you know, for me, I just feel like I'd rather not, because if you can't just let certain people in. Because look, if thing is with this game or fame, once you let people into the house, when it's time to leave, they ain't leaving. They're like, no, squatters' rights. They're staying. So yeah, I like to keep those doors closed, but there's things I just kind of feel like sometimes I want to share with people, things that are good in my life, things that I'm like, fuck, this is dope. This is a cool milestone in my personal life. I want to share with my fans because, you know, they fuck with me, but I just rather keep it to myself because, again, in this game, you share a little bit and they want more and they'll take a lot away from you. So I'd rather keep what I value in my private life private.
Does it get to the point where it's like you wish that you could be Izzy the non-fighter, where you can just be viewed as the non-fighter, the non-celebrity? Do you long for those days? Are you so far removed from those days that you wish that it could be like that?
Nah, I appreciate the position I'm in, and again, I love the perks of being famous. Fuck, if I could do it again, if I could go back in time, I'd find a way to be a tech billionaire or some kind of stupid rich investor, so I can be just stupid rich and just anonymous and just walk around the street. I still do it though. Like you see me in Auckland, I'm outside. You know, I'll be on the streets with the people. No security, no nothing. But then there's times when if I'm going to a concert or if I'm going to go to an event, then I have to have security because, you know, I'm not stupid. But yeah, I don't long for those days. I just have really strong boundaries now. I tell people no, and I tell people think I hate even taking photos with them. They're like, "Oh, I know you hate taking photos." I'm like, "No, I don't hate taking photos." I'm like, "I appreciate you being respectful. That's it. It's just manners and respect gets you a long way. I don't like people pulling up and just, oh my God, stop filming you."
Yeah.
Or, you know, oh bro, like it's those kind of things I fucking hate. I'm like, fuck you. Don't just put a camera in my face. I don't know you. Or someone running up on you and being too extra. Oh, I'm just a fan. I don't give a fuck. It's manners and respect. That's what people have to get through their head. And yeah, I'm happy to be in this position. So yeah, I'm not going to complain because God gave me a lot to eat and I was hungry.
You were the first one to introduce, at least to me, the term tall poppy syndrome. I never heard that before. It was in that speech that you gave where you talked about that.
Yeah, that's a Kiwi thing. That's definitely a Anzac thing. Tall poppy syndrome. It's a thing that happens worldwide, but I don't know how we came up with that name. I just tall puppies.
It's like the tallest flower, they trim the top.
Oh, really? Okay. They're apparently the tallest flower, they trim the top.
Yep.
So
I remember when you said it, and I looked into it, and it makes total sense. I'm just wondering now. Maybe you're not champion, you're not on the winning streak. Is the relationship with the people, because maybe you're not the tallest poppy, if you will, is the relationship with the people of New Zealand different? Do you feel like they treat you differently now?
I'm still the tallest poppy in New Zealand.
Okay.
Nah, yeah, it doesn't feel different. They call me champ, bro. Like everywhere, worldwide. Hey, champ, what's up, champ? So that's never gonna change. I don't. You know, they call me champ if I was champ. Like, you know, I'm still Israel Adesanya. It's just I'm gonna be me for life. And that just comes with what it comes with.
Do they appreciate you more now? Do you feel like you get more love from them? Because there was once a time where you said you would never fight there again, right?
Oh, that was the government. It wasn't the people. That wasn't at the people. That was the government, the bureaucrats. Again, because they were trying to move the goalposts during COVID, and then they were stifling Dan from fighting, but letting other athletes for traditional sports compete and lock down and stuff. And they were trying to halt us coming to our gym, stopping us from quarantining, things like that. And I don't think I need to fight in New Zealand anyway. I think there's new guys coming up that are going to headline, that'll be better suited for the country.
Okay. Just a couple more, and then I'll let you go. Thank you. I know it's late over there, so I don't want to keep you too long. The other one that I love from the world of boxing, it's Y'all Must Have Forgot and Marvin Hagler's Silk Pajamas line, that it's hard to wake up in the morning when you're sleeping in silk pajamas, right? That's the legendary one. Is that a feeling that you can relate to now?
Yeah. Not now, no. I've been there before, but I still got up. Still dominated. But now, I mean, I sleep very well. I sleep naked, to be honest. I don't know how people wear clothes to sleep. It's weird to me.
Wow.
Do you, Tim? No?
Yeah, I sleep naked every day.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, naked. I think it's I don't know what's wrong with people, Like, don't you feel like it feels weird if you wear clothes to sleep? Yeah. But yeah, anyway, apart from that, like I said, now I just do what I want to do. I don't need anything. I don't need anything from anyone. I don't need anything really from this game. It's just what I want to do. And I want to compete at the highest level because I still feel like I am the best, and I'll prove that. Again, I'm quietly confident with my skills and the work I've put in for this fight. So I can't wait to just go in there and just do the work. And then people are going to be on my dick again, like, oh my God, he's this, he's that, he's amazing. Because that's the game we're in, You have one loss and, I should retire. He's done, he's washed. And then you go in there and smoke someone. And this is not the first time this has happened in the UFC. They said it to me a couple of times before in the past. Oh, no, he's done, he should retire. But I don't listen. I just, again, do what I want to do.
Well, you told your brother that you had several goals left. One that you've mentioned before is to get a sub. And I thought the belt doesn't really matter, but it sounds to me like there is a part of you that would like to be champion again.
It's not like the main thing, but I just know it'll spin back. It'll spin the block. But for me, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying even this fight week. It's a fight night. It's chill. Tim's trimmed down my media obligations. So I'm just chilling, man. I like this flow. And I do like the feel of a big fight as well. Like, I think it's because I did too many back to back. And like now when they come, I'll handle it differently and I'll handle it well with my newfound perspective.
It's a crazy thing. This will be your first non-title fight since UFC 234 against Anderson Silva in February of 2019. You fought in an incredible 12 straight title fights, and I mean that's like champion or not, spotlight, target on your back for 12 straight times, and it's once again Imavov wants to beat you to become the man, title on the line or not. So there is a difference, but in reality, you're still the main event. It's not like you're on the prelims fighting some no-namer. It kind of feels the same.
That's what I'm still Israel Adesanya, so it's my job to send them back down the ladder.
Can I ask, of those goals, the sub, maybe getting back to, is there one that we may not know of that you haven't shared that's a goal for you, a career goal that's left to accomplish?
Career goal. Let me think. What's a career goal? I've done a lot in this game, in and out of the cage. What's a career goal that I definitely want to get a sub, but apart from that, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't really need anything. I just do what I want to do. When it comes to me, I'll decide if I want it and I'll go get it. But yeah, a sub is definitely one of them. And I will be hunting for it.
There's not many guys left at 85 that you haven't fought, but it sounds like Kaio is one that's that's of interest at some point. Why him?
Yes. Good style. I like his style. And he's been, our interactions have been respectful, cordial. And it's just fucking hands, bro. Like, you're good. I'm good. Let's throw hands. Let's see what's up. No bad blood, nothing. It's just, I want to test myself against these young up and coming guys like Nassourdine Imavov. Yeah, it's not even about them. It's about me. I want to, I know the answer. I know the answer, but I want to prove it to myself. I want to find out myself. So yeah, we're going to find out.
One of the things I love about Eugene and why I always love talking to him is that he doesn't mince words. He doesn't say BS just to say BS. He always says things. And I remember before the New York fight, he said some stuff and you're like, wow. And this fight too, he says the thing about your conversation. When he says it's the best training camp, when Frank Hickman says best training camp, it means something because they don't say this often. They will sometimes say it's the worst training camp and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they said that before the fight. You know what I mean? And so do you hear that from them? Yes, he did. I think it was before one of the New York fights. So do you agree with that as well? They say it's the best training camp. Do you feel I've never asked someone, by the way, how's training camp? It's my least favorite question, but I kept hearing them say it in all the stuff that I watched beforehand that it struck a chord. And so do you agree with them with their assessment?
Yeah, I'll say it's the most efficient training camp I've had or we've had probably ever or in a long time. Again, 16 weeks, I just did everything I had to do to make sure I can prove it to myself. So again, quietly confident, patiently waiting, because this weekend, I really want to just go in there and just style out.
Can't wait. Last thing, most important, don't you think it's some kind of BS that like all these people have just turned their back on Drake? I mean, like Kendrick Lamar, this guy's playing at the
I know,
Super Bowl.
right?
Isn't it? Please back me up on this. My boys are telling me in the back over there that I'm being a hater.
I can relate because when you're great, they're gonna hate, and it gets to a point because even I've seen it, I've felt it in myself for other people and it's just human nature. When they're so high, you just want to see them fall, and it's happened to me. I just be on top, dominating, even before the UFC. And then people just, because of maybe their own inadequacies or whatever, they want to see you fall. And look, Kendrick is a fucking fantastic artist. I'm a big fan of Kendrick as well. What he's done in the last, run, crazy in that battle as well. But Kendrick could have said anything and they would have been like, yeah, it's better than what Drake did, because they just want to see Drake fall. And not saying Kendrick didn't fucking do work. He did work, but it is what it is. And again, Drake's still Drake, bro. He just has to do what he does. I think he's going to Australia now. He's going to do a tour, and you're going to see worldwide people still love him. The world's bigger than America, way bigger than America. So yeah, worldwide, still the boy.
Okay, I'm happy you didn't. I've seen a lot of people switch sides here, and it's broken my heart. But we stick by our own.
Sweet. I don't do that. For me, again, I'll say things as it is, and I've said, I'm a fan of the art. I'm a fan of when there's beef, it makes things interesting. And yeah, now it's settled, the dust is settled. Go back and re-up, go back and do what you do best. Show them why you're great.
Sounds like a good mantra for you heading into Saturday as well. So Izzy, you're the man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you doing this, especially so late over there in Saudi Arabia. Thank you to the newlywed Tim, Big Shot Tim over there, having weddings in Colombia with all the superstars in attendance. It's amazing, this guy, what he's done.
It was good. Colombia as advertised. I implore everybody, go to Colombia, Medellin, Cartagena, Shata Maraza. I'll see you guys it's almost 9 months, isn't it?
Thank you, Izzy. Good luck to you on Saturday. Can't wait. Appreciate the time.
Peace. Shukran. And I'll see you later, Ariel.
You're the man. There he is. The great Israel Adesanya, the style bender, the last style bender. Tremendous stuff. Did that not make you guys excited for Saturday? I mean, you hear that stuff from a legend like him, That's got to make you excited.
I was already pretty excited. I said to Rick as soon as we got into that, I was like, man, it's Israel Adesanya fight week. This is pretty exciting.
It's a big freaking fight. It's a big freaking card, by the way, for a fight night. The 1-2 punch of Izzy Imavov and MVP Shara Bullet. It kind of like crept up on us, right? Because I feel like they just announced this. What was it, like in early December? Something like that.
Yeah, you got Pavlovich Rosenstrike on there too.
Yeah.
Lockdog, Mike Davis going as well.
You love that one.
I love the Mike Davis fights, yeah. Versus Zayam. That one's going to be incredible. Yeah, Mike Davis always makes it exciting, but I think it's Lockdog, Saeed Nurmagomedov. Whole main card's great. Yeah, I can't wait. Plus, daytime card will be done at like 3 p.m. It's going to be fantastic.
Love Izzy fights. They're special. They won't last forever. Love Izzy chats because he's always very thoughtful, and you can tell he ponders questions. He ponders his answers. So hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a lot of fun, and you don't get to talk to him often these days. So appreciate his time very much. Tomorrow on the program, we'll have Michael Venom Page join us from Saudi Arabia. So looking forward to that one. The legendary broadcaster, the one and only Jim Lampley, will join us to talk about the massive David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight, which is happening this Saturday in Las Vegas. Remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I think it's now 2 weeks ago that we had the face-to-face on the program. And that drew a lot of interest. So looking forward to that. Paul Hughes, big news, is going to join us as well to talk about his incredible fight against Usman Nurmagomedov. And Pete C wrote a great article on uncrowned.com about why that rematch needs to be made now, not tomorrow, now, yesterday. Has to happen. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Like I said, at 5 o'clock, we'll be live on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel. Myself, Ariel Oladipo, talking to the GWOAT, Clarissa Shields, and Sky Nicholson, current undisputed and future undisputed. Going to be joining us on the program, talking about everything else going on in the world of boxing. Tomorrow we'll answer your questions. So hit up the Substack, ArielHelwani.substack.com. I'm trying to go through all the lower thirds here for Jordan, trying to empty the tank. Is there any left that I didn't get to? I think I got to all of them. I may have gone to the vast majority of them. And so that will be tomorrow. There'll be plenty more. Yes, thumbs up to the chat. There it is. Thumbs up to the chat. Yeah. There'll be plenty more Saudi Arabia coverage as far as this weekend's event is concerned on The Boys in the Back on Thursday. And of course, the crack on Friday. I told everyone back there, hard out 340. Hard out 340. Look what time it is.
Yeah, 15 seconds.
Are you a fan of punctuality, Frank?
Yes, as demonstrated by my punctual arrival to work every day.
Yeah, that's interesting. Frank,
wow.
Punctual to work, for sure.
Now, I'll be honest. Sure. I'm the last one to come in, so I don't know the comings and goings.
You beat Frank by seconds every day, to be honest.
The cooler you are, the later you can be, from what I understand.
Okay, so what's the, like, give me the breakdown.
No, we're not going to talk out of school. We're just going to acknowledge that Frank is...
Who's first? Can I know first?
No.
Wow, well, you opened the door.
You're talking to
Nobody opened the door.
Number one.
Frank is last. That's all you need to know. That's the info.
It's not even true. He's just admitted to being last.
I'm definitely second to last, though, because everyone's here, and then Frank gets here after me every time.
Wow. Frank, you get here after...
It's not a competition, is it? Because if it is, I've won.
Is that surprising? Where you were going to say, Frank, you get here after Connor?
Here's the worst.
I'm just surprised that Frank's last.
It's not about Frank being so
Frank's
late
last
in the
and
order.
then he eats a salad.
It's Frank being last, and then there's demands. Oh, we have to do this at this time.
Hey, Frank, why don't you get here?
Why don't you get here earlier?
It did get a little testy. Frank was like, can we test Zooms? And Rick was like, yeah, I'm happy to test Zooms with you at 9 a.m. We could do it whenever you wanted to at 9 a.m. You just get here then.
Wow.
I wasn't going to say all that, but yes.
I am curious because you say this, and then yesterday I'm listening to the podcast on Spotify, and there's a 10-minute chunk of dead air, and so I'm wondering...
What happened to your mic? It's not working anymore?
In any event, thank you very much to Israel Adesanya, Chris Weidman, Dave Feldman, Darren Owen. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of them, including Frank. Back on Wednesday. Peace. I'm out of here.
Protect your neck, cause you come next. Yeah, you ought to know best. This ain't no chess. I'm a dragon, my town, my cage, my nest. Protect your neck, cause you come next.